She said that's what I do.
Yeah, I assume that what they're expecting is there were so many different people in at one point. It was something from former representative Jack Perkins and I can't remember. The cooks in the kitchen.
May 18th meeting of the Carter County Commission is now in session. I respectfully request everyone in the courtroom to turn off your cell phones at this time. Also, commissioners, do not use your phone for texting. This is very distracting. Please remain focused on the issues. Commissioners, if you wish to speak at any time during this meeting, please stand and wait to be recognized by the chair. Only one person will be recognized to speak at any given time. Any discussion and all discussion must pertain to the motion that is under consideration. Going off on irrelevant topics is not in order. Thorough debate of the issues is always encouraged. However, personal attacks will not be tolerated. During commissioner comments, the motions to adjourn will not be acknowledged until the chair has recognized all those commissioners that wish to speak. At this time, I would ask that Mr. Billy Harrell come forward. He's going to go over courthouse emergency egress plan. Billy.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of the Carter County Emergency Management Office and the Mayor's Office, we've been working on an emergency evacuation plan, working on in case there is a threat at the courthouse. We're trying to make the courthouse more safe for our workers and our visitors, and we appreciate everybody coming today. I want to give a couple of announcements. We have been working on an evacuation plan in case there is a fire or a bomb or some kind of threat. And Thank you. Yes. For those visitors that may be here that don't know, Carter County does have a 911 service. If there is an emergency, you can call 911. Second slide. Our evacuation routes. If there is an emergency, we are to report to the back of the parking lot. This is where the fire department has requested we all report to the back of the parking lot. They will be coming to the front of the courthouse, so they want all that room to work with. They don't want to worry about people and emergencies in the front. They want everyone to report to the back parking lot. Our primary evacuation route will be out the south doors, down the steps, and to the back parking lot if there is an emergency. Everyone in the courthouse will report out the side doors, down the steps. If that route is blocked, we do have a secondary route. Our secondary route, if we cannot exit this way, our secondary route will be on the south end, midway down the hallway to the steps, down the steps, and out to the back parking lot. Next slide. Again, the stairwell is in the middle of the hallway, back to the back courthouse. Next slide. For those, if we do have a cardiac emergency, we do have a AED, automated external defibrillator, on the first floor for experienced personnel that can use cardiac external defibrillator. We do have one on the bottom floor for a cardiac emergency, just so everyone will know. And our restrooms are located on the north end of the second floor, and they are handicap accessible. Next slide. And that's the emergency evacuation information. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. I know Billy and Mr. Gary put a lot of time and effort into this. It's taken several months to get the placards in order to be able to post them throughout the courthouse. They put a lot of effort into that, and we really appreciate your time. This time, I would ask that Susan Robinson come forward and give us just a brief overview of Roll Call Pro.
Good morning, everyone. In the front of you, you'll find your keypad that I believe you all might have used back in January when you did a simulation and test of this system before. Each one should have your name on it. We've got two unnamed ones for the empty seats that you all are going to be electing positions for. Also in your packet there, you have a little cheat sheet from Roll Call. It talks about how to use the keypad. It's a double-sided cheat sheet. The keypad itself has aye and nay and abstain and request to speak and confirm on it. Today we're not going to use the request to speak. We're just going to use the basics of it for voting, and then in subsequent meetings we'll introduce some more functionality. But we want everybody to get used to it before we give you all the tools that it can use. This morning Patsy is going to Mary is going to do the roll call, and so you'll use the aye and confirm to show that you're here when she prompts you and when the mayor prompts you to do that. If when you're voting you choose to abstain and not vote, that's what the yellow box is for, so when you push it. Anytime you use aye and nay and abstain, you always have to confirm your entry, so make sure you selected your choice correctly before you hit confirm. If you're getting ready to vote and you decide to vote yes, and then for some reason you change your mind and want to vote no, you have to do it before you hit the confirm. So please don't start voting until you're prompted by Mary or the mayor to go forward. So, and again, request to speak, we're going to do it like we always do with just stand or show hands, and then you'll be called upon by the mayor. So, and that's my overview.
Any questions for Susan before we get started? We've been through this back in January, it went very well. Of course, we're phasing into this gently at each meeting, and we'll keep adding to with subsequent meetings. But right now, today, we'll use it solely for voting purposes.
And we will do the roll call to show that you're here initially, but I understand that we won't use it to do the actual election for the commissioners.
Correct. The commission election, once everyone has had an opportunity to speak, then we'll open the floor up for nominations. We'll take those nominations, and then it'll be traditional roll call until we have a person that has obtained the clear majority and is elected. Once the first district has been elected, then we'll go on to the third. After the third has been elected, then Miss Mary will swear both of those new commissioners in, and they can take their seat for the balance of the meeting. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. I know we voted to use this, but have we completed the process of budgeting for this? And has it been paid for? And is this the official start of the use of this?
Mr. Peters, the vote last meeting, the motion was made by Mr. Lewis and seconded by Ms. Brown, specifically says that we would not only purchase the system, but we would put it in use. So yes, sir, this is the first meeting, and all the subsequent meetings, we will be using this system.
So the system has been paid for?
No, sir, the system has not been paid for. You know, that's a matter I think that we can address later when it gets to the budget committee. But the budget committee did approve the transfer of funds within the mayor's budget to pay for this. And then when it came to full commission, that matter was not confirmed. The motion was made to purchase and put in use, and that's exactly what we're doing. There is an amendment in your packet today that will transfer those funds from the mayor's budget over to the commission budget. That's the question. Ms. Deloach, after reviewing, felt that it was not proper to leave that money in the mayor's budget and take it from those three utility line items over to communications. So therefore, she's respectfully requested, and you have that amendment in your packet today. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, if you would please take the roll. Mr. Campbell. Madam Clerk.
Charles not confirmed on camera. Okay.
22 members present. We have a quorum. This time I'd ask Mr. Willie Campbell to lead us in prayer. Please stand and remain standing for Mr. Robert Donald to lead us in pledge of allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father God, Lord, as we gather here this morning, Lord, thank you for another beautiful day, Lord, that you've given us. God, another opportunity to put our feet to the floor, Lord, and give you the praise and the honor for it. Lord, we do pray, Lord, today, Lord, for each and every member that's here today, God. Lord, that we make the decisions, Lord, with the county's money, Lord, with wisdom and knowledge that only comes from you. Lord, this morning we do pray for our country, God. Lord, we pray for the leaders of our country and our county, God, that you watch over each and every one of them as we make decisions from time to time. Lord, we thank you, Lord, that we have this day that we can always lift up your name and give you the honor and the glory which you richly deserve. God, we ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Face the flag, please. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time I would ask that all elected appointed officials in the audience please stand. recall back during our March Commission meeting, we honored retiring Chief Conley Jones, who served West Carter County Volunteer Fire Department, 44 years service. It is with great sadness that we all learned of his passing earlier this month. At this time, I would like to observe a moment of silence in honor of Chief Jones. Thank you. Public comments. This time, anyone that would like to address the commission is welcome to come forward. Please stand to be recognized. Mr. Livingston, you would please come forward. You have 5 minutes, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I know we're fixing to have an election here today with two commissioners. And I think you should take in consideration the commissioners that ran the last time and the votes they got, maybe the fourth one down or so, of all the people in their district that voted for them. And I don't know what's going to happen here today, but I think their vote should trump what you guys are going to do, because there's going to be 12 of you, up to 12, that will consider electing these two seats. And I think those citizens in those districts that voted for these people, they should have a little priority here in this election if that's who the people want to, they've done voted and expressed their feelings of who they wanted next down, besides the three that was voted in each district. And I think they should be considered here a little priority above the rest, because that's what the people in those districts wanted, not just what a few of you here want, for them. And I think the citizens should have the priority over the rest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the commission? Not seeing any, we'll move on with the agenda. This time we have a presentation by Ms. Carol Russum with the Adult Education Program.
Good morning. My name is Carol Russum. I have been working with the Adult Education Program for the past 13 years and have taught for about 15 years before that in the Johnson County Public School System. About 2 years ago, adult ed programs across the state were consolidated. We went from 96 different counties to 46 counties, or I shouldn't say counties, but 46 entities. And so at that time, 2 years ago, Carter and Johnson County combined into one program. I have been, like I said before, I've been teaching adult education classes for about 13 years. And so my supervisor retired as of this June, and so I stepped into her position. And now, being a supervisor versus a teacher, very, very different. I really miss teaching after 28 years. So it's gotten, this is not necessarily where I'm used to being. I'm used to looking at students and working with students. So it's taken a lot of learning to come before people. But I just wanted to share some things with you, tell you what our program's been doing these past 2 years, and thank you for this county's support. Over the past year, we have served about 301 students in Johnson and Carter County combined. We have, right now, Johnson County is serving 54 students currently, and Carter County has about 78 students on roll currently. We are offering the GED and HiSET test both. And about 2 years ago, the GED really changed. They got bought out by a for-profit company, and so the price of the GED really went very high, and the difficulty of the test really increased. And so Tennessee, along with about 12 other states, adopted something called the HiSET, which stands for High School Equivalency Diploma. And we are finding that the cost is not as much. It is still just as difficult. And so what we have done is most of our students have gone to taking the HiSET test. But both are offered. For this past year, we have had 60 GED HiSET diplomas. And 18 of our students in both counties have gone on to enter employment. 36 of our students have retained employment, and 10 of our students have gone on to post-secondary ed. We have a fantastic jail program going in both counties. We have served over 71 inmates for the past year, and 89 students in the past 2 years have come to us with special needs, whether it's learning disabilities or mental handicap or even some physically handicapped. We've had deaf students, we've had visually impaired students. And so we've got probably about 7 teachers on staff between the 2 counties. Some of our instructors in Carter County, Lynn Stalvey, Tina Nadson, Mark Willis, Linda Shell, and Cassandra Wireman. And so just with this past year, we have had, up to 60 GEDs for this year. Something else that's really neat that we started this year, we have a volunteer. He works with the foundation Fighting for Rural Education, and with his foundation, they have put volunteers into our adult ed classrooms. And so he works, I think, on all-day Tuesdays in Carter County, and then Wednesday and Thursday morning in Johnson County. And so he volunteers with our, very low readers and very low math students. So it's been wonderful to have a volunteer in our program. We're also working with Youth Build. They did have a program in Johnson County years ago, and they just currently this past year have a program in Johnson City. And Youth Build is a program for 18 to 24-year-olds who are trying to work on their GED, and the kids are in class one week, and then they switch out, and then half the kids stay in class, half the kids go to a work site, and they build a spec house. And so it's pretty neat. We had it 1 year in Johnson County, and then they've had it several years, I think, here in Johnson City. And so what we do as a Carter County team is we go and test our students and get them ready for the GED or the HiSET. So last year we had 18 Youth Build receive their GEDs or HiSETs with us. And so we also were working with Youth Build again this year. We've got ESOL programs going in both counties. I think this past year was the first year that they had an ESOL program, which is English for speakers of other languages. And we had a very young, very energetic teacher called Cassandra Wireman, who also teaches in the school system with the little ones. And so she had a direct link to start a night class with the parents. So that has been going very, very well. We've also got an ESOL program going in Johnson County. And quite a few of our Johnson County ESOL have transitioned through that English learning, English speaking program and into our GED classes. So we've had a lot, not a lot, but maybe 4 or 5 of our ESOL population come and get their GEDs with us. And even a couple of my students have gone on to get their citizenship. So that's been pretty neat. Dr. Shelley Duggar, who works with the Title I and Title III in our public schools here, was a tremendous help in getting the ESOL program started in Carter County. We do have summer classes that are going on in both Johnson and Carter. On Mondays and Tuesdays, we have day classes, night classes, and ESOL classes. So we had a little extra funding left from this school year, so I was able to ask my teachers if they would consider, having summer classes. And typically, for the past 13 years when I've been teaching, summer has not been really huge. Most of our students, their kids are home, they're wanting to take vacations, so our night classes and summer classes are not as huge in the summer. We have a really active jail program. both here in Carter County and in Johnson County. I think just a couple of years ago was the first time, probably in a long time, that they had a GED program in our jails. We have Northeast State come to test our people in jail. We also have Tennessee Technology Center that has been coming to test our students in our jail population. In Johnson County, because I was teaching in the adult ed in Johnson County, over the past 7 years that I was in the jail, we had over 111 inmates get their GEDs while I was teaching there. So I think that is a pretty neat number. Last year, Carter County had 7 inmates get their GEDs. And here again, I think last year was the first year that we were starting a jail program in our Carter County jail. Here again, Tennessee Tech, Northeast State, come and test our students. And this same foundation, Fighting for Rural Education, donated all the money towards helping our students, get their GED in the jail setting. This is near the second year of our combined Carter and Johnson. In December 2013, we were in the AB&T building, Workforce Development Building, but we moved just a little over onto 125 Industrial Drive down Stony Creek. And a great team of teachers and secretary that I have working there. So many people have helped our program. Carter County has an education and business coordination meeting where I've been trying to attend every couple of months just to get to know faces, get our program out there, talk to people about what we do and who we help. And I just wanted to thank Carter County Tomorrow for supporting us. Elizabethton City Schools and Carter County Board of Ed have been really great to work with. They've done all calls for us. They've gotten flyers out to their children. They've been really, really supportive of us. Our county mayors, Leon Humphrey and Larry Potter in Johnson County, have been super supportive. City mayors Kurt Alexander and Johnson County Mayor Lawrence Keeble. Our 2 sheriffs, Dexter Lunsford and Mike Reese, have been excellent to work with, have welcomed us with open arms. Captain James Parrish at the Carter County Jail, Lieutenant Fritz from the Carter County Jail, the county commissioners here and in Johnson, and City Council. Tennessee Technology Center has bent over backwards. In fact, just this past Tuesday, we had a graduation for our graduates at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. Beautiful service, great program, and they just opened up their arms to us out there, and it was gorgeous. It was just a really sweet setting. And this coming Tuesday night, we're having our GED graduation in Johnson County at the Heritage Hall, and hopefully next year I'll have it combined. Because I hated to split it, but there hadn't been a graduation program here or in Johnson for 6 years, and when we started tallying names to send letters of invitation, it was this long. I mean, we had potential for 600 graduates, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think we've got a venue that can hold that many graduates and that many families. So we said, okay, this year we'll split it. We had 25 graduates respond back to us out of 145 invitations sent. And we must have had probably close to 150 people at the Technology Center. So really, really great. And so next year I hope to have a combined graduation. What I'm up here also asking for is we're asking for your continued support. Carter County Tomorrow pledged $550 towards helping our students pay for their GED. And what we usually do is the cost of the GED plus the test center fees is $75. We want to try to help pick up the $50 cost and ask our students to pay the $25 test center fee. And once that $50 cost is covered, it allows them to retake any parts of the GED or the high-set test up to 3 times with no charge, besides the testing center fee. So we are asking for your support of $550 in appropriations. I think that has been designated in years past, and Carter County Tomorrow has pledged $550 towards this help. and hoping with a matching pledge from the county commissioners. And so that is our program in a nutshell. We're doing great things. We hope to continue to do more. Thank you for all the support that you guys have given us here in Carter County. We really appreciate it. And are there any questions? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. You indicated that you had moved locations from the workforce development
Yes.
center to another location. Could you tell me why you did that?
Well, it was interesting. We were growing, and I think we just needed some more space for our students. I'm not sure how long the Carter County adult education offices have been there, so we just felt like we needed more space, and so we moved almost just right across the road into a little building down 125 Industrial Drive. And so we have our classrooms there. We have a couple of classrooms there, secretary. It's its own little building.
So there wasn't enough room for expansion where you were presently up there? Is that right?
I think so, and I think at that point, I know that the Workforce Development Building has quite a few offices in there, like different entities. And so I know we were up on the second floor, and I think the nurses, I think there was a nursing program up there. There was something with the Carter County Schools, I think was up there. And so we had just 2 classrooms. We had one very, very tiny classroom, if you've ever been up there. And then across the hall was our computer lab. And when we first came, I think back in 2013, I think August, I came to teach there while we were still trying to hire teachers and also teaching in Johnson County at the same time in the adult ed program. And I remember one morning when I had a big group of students who were needing to test, like entrance tests with me, and I had like 12, and there was no way I could fit them in that little classroom. So down at the end of the hall, there was like this big, I don't know if you'd call it just a meeting room or a conference room. And so several times I would have to reserve that conference room just to be able to test my students, like either the official practice test or the incoming tape test. And so I knew with the classroom only being able to hold maybe, I don't know, 7, 8, probably tops without people sitting like this, and having to go into and ask, making sure I got my request on the board system to use that big room for testing. We just felt, we needed just a little bit bigger space where we could have 2 classrooms going on, at the same time and be able to test.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Carol. We appreciate you coming. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And I didn't realize how many of you there were, but I have 10 copies of just kind of like it's an update, kind of like what I went over. But you guys are welcome to share, often 3 or 4 on every table. And you can just look over the things we've been doing. So like I said, I made like 10 copies. So I know there's not enough to go around. That's good, Secretary, for anything else.
Thank you. Have a nice day. This time we have Ms. Leslie Turner, who's going to give a presentation on mass notification systems. Leslie.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Gary Smith, Director of the Emergency Management Agency for the City of Elizabeth and Carter County. And one of the things that we have been looking at is potential systems to notify all the citizens of our area who may be impacted during, say, a flooding event or a tornado or something like that. And as you're very well aware, technology has definitely been growing by leaps and bounds over the past few years. So a lot of the capabilities of systems have just skyrocketed. And we have a lot of things available to us today that we didn't have before. And so today we're fortunate to have Ms. Leslie Turner from Everbridge, which is one of the vendors that provides the mass notification system, and she will give us an overview of what their system is capable of doing. So, Leslie, thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Board Commissions and everybody in the room. Welcome. I appreciate your time today. My name is, as we stated, Leslie Turner. I'm from Everbridge Mass Notification Critical Communication. And I came here just to talk to you. I want you to see the possibilities of how technology can change your county, change the interoperability of the county agencies, be able to all inclusively work together, be able to do best practices, drills. You were talking about the evacuation this morning. This is a simple call that could have gone out to all of you, telling you all the evacuation instructions, attaching a map to it, any of those of that nature. You could confirm that message that you did receive it. The person who sent the message could actually see how many confirmed late, how many were unreachable, so forth and so on. They could then reach out to those that confirmed only, or those that were unreachable, or those that were confirming late, and get them the attention without bothering and desensitizing all of you. So that's what I'm here for today. A lot of you may or may not have heard of Everbridge. I'm going to go through a little PowerPoint. I'm going to go through a very brief demonstration of our system. I will shoot a call out so that we can experience the system. And I welcome any questions during or after. I'm going to try to keep this as brief and most of you as awake as possible and have a little fun with this. I came a long way to visit you, so I'm very happy to be here. So what we found out in state, local government is that all of you have common challenges. You have planning, you have assessment, you have a response, and a resolution. You need live reporting, you need the ability to schedule calls, to plan for emergencies, to be able to assess what's going on with event analysis, and you need to be able to get in touch with and communicate with your citizens, but also internally. Now, when you look at a lot of mass notification vendors, I want you to keep in mind that Everbridge is considered the world's leader in incident notification. Now, I say that with the utmost humility. It is a privilege to work with Everbridge and my teams. We truly care what's going on, and we get our system upgrades and developments from you, the responders, from you, the citizens. We listen, we take every 30 days, we do what's called requests for enhancements. These are items that are asked of our company to add buttons and technology and extra functionality so that we can give you the most robust and scalable product on the market with an incredible ROI. So it's one flat fee when you look at my demonstration today. And every agency in the county can be using this for anything they like on a daily basis. What we found by doing this, instead of charging you by minutes and messaging, is that there's less mistakes. People that are fluid with the system, when an emergency hits and your intelligence level drops 4 levels, you're able to execute that immediately, okay, with not even thinking twice. You're also able to delegate better. So by giving you unlimited groups, unlimited subgroups, unlimited administrators with permissions and roles, we are able to have you guys working together, discussing best practices, message mapping, drills, exercises, and you're a lot happier because we're no longer an insurance program that you're never going to use or that you use once a year. So we're trying to get you to use the system on a daily basis for maybe there's shift call-outs, maybe there's conference call. Hello, this is your police captain. This is an emergency. Press 1 to be on the call. That call will then hold up to 96 responders. Perhaps it's a polling message. This is an emergency evacuation for your area. Press 1 if you can evacuate in 15 minutes. Press 2 if you need assistance. Press 3 if you've evacuated and your family is safe. Maybe there's an overtime shift internally. There's overtime available Saturday, December 24th. If you'd like the shift, press 1. Press 2 to decline. Anything of that nature can be used. You can do, there's a meeting at 4 o'clock. You can do a scheduled message. You can do a reoccurring message every week at 4 o'clock. Maybe you want to remind everybody once a month before the commissioners meeting to bring your agenda. Maybe there is power outages, or you have a landfill, and you want to let folks know when certain electric things can be dropped off or anything of that nature. power outages, road closures, active shooter, tornadoes, anything of those type of situations, you're going to be able to do with this system on an everyday basis for one flat fee a year. We're also a company of innovation leading technology. That's one of the reasons I'm going to discuss in just a few minutes why Gartner chose us. But if you realize that you can be able to send these messages out on an everyday basis, and your company that you're supporting is releasing 4 new updates a year with new releases and new functionality included in the price of your contract. So with that said, I think you guys have a pretty good idea of where I'm going. So I'm going to keep going on with the demonstration a little bit, and I want to tell you a little bit about Everbridge. We have over 2,700 clients, over 50 million people on the Everbridge system. We send about 150 million messages a year globally. So when you look at us, we've handled Hurricane Sandy, Boston Marathon. The reason why I choose Boston Marathon to talk about is a pretty interesting day. We have an office in Los Angeles and an office in Boston where our senior VP and corporate folks are, also Network Operations Center. Now this is key. We have 3 different network operations centers. These are live operators, 365, 24/7, Everbridge trained, Everbridge background checked, Everbridge security clearance, and drug tested. So they are Everbridge employees. We were locked down and evacuated when that marathon bomb went off. So immediately the calls were forwarded to Glendale, California, where we assisted K9, Bomb Squad, Air Support, Secret Service, FBI, Search and Rescue, Fire. All of the agencies were on 365, 24/7 for over 72 hours with our Network Operations Center in Los Angeles. So we were able to authenticate those folks in case there was any cell phone infrastructure issues. We were able to work with them the entire time, guiding them, helping them, and we have a case study on it if anybody would like to read about it. But it was pretty fascinating. And it's important that you know that we have several data centers. So we have 100% failover. So you're as good as your last click. It's a 15 millisecond failover between our data centers, and we have 3 of them, currently building a 4th, and we're growing by leaps and bounds. So if anybody has any questions on the Boston situation, I'd be glad to answer it for you. But just to give you an example, we have what's called the network effect. So when you pull up your Everbridge map and you want to see other Everbridge, our customers, so we have banks, we have children, we have hospitals, we have universities, and we have government. So what happened was the Boston Children's Hospital was actually on our network for the city of Boston. They're our client. We did all the messages for the city of Watertown and for the city of Boston. When the anesthesiologist got the message that there was a bomb that went off, he went and shut down all the scheduled surgeries and opened the emergency rooms for incoming wounded. It was that fast, and before 911, we knew about the situation coming into that hospital. So we're out all about saving lives, saving time, saving money, and getting you what you need. Who trusts Everbridge? So you can see here we have a corporate vertical, we have a finance vertical, that's what we call them in the corporate world. And we sell to GoGo, Facebook, Microsoft, Walt Disney, 255,000 employees, every single park on the Everbridge system. We have, in higher education, we have Vanderbilt University, we have University of Louisiana, I can't talk this morning, school systems. We have Pepperdine, we have all different kinds of transportation. We have every major airport in the United States using Everbridge. So we have LAX, DFW, Orlando, Chicago, Atlanta. All those airports trusting Everbridge for all of their emergency situations and their daily communications. We also have in government in Tennessee, I have Williamson County, Rutherford County, Marion County, Sequatchie County, Washington County, City of Franklin, using the system on an everyday basis. If you all want to go over to Rutherford Alerts, great example of how they got the word out, and the citizens can sign up for any kind of alerts that are in their area. Williamson County loves it, using it every day. So we also have the state of Connecticut, 3.5 million citizens on the system, 130 organizations using it separately and individually on the state system. We also have North Dakota, we have Florida Division of Emergency Management using it every day for exercises, drills, Department of Health, Children and Families, all in Florida. We have City of Atlanta, City of Charleston, City of Birmingham, City of New Orleans using the system every single day. So I want you to know that they use it for Mardi Gras, Jazz Fest, parking bans, Super Bowl, and of course, hurricanes. So this is all important for you to know why, who trusts us, because I want you to know that you have a reputable, proven, reliable company that is going to do the best job they can to get you guys the best ROI and investment for your dollar. Any questions on anything I've said so far? Should I keep going? You all awake? Okay, so we have Gartner. Okay, so for those of you who don't know who Gartner is, if you're gonna buy a car or a vacuum, you've been to Consumer Reports, right? So you would go to Gartner for technology. In 2012, Gartner did an 800-page RFP and a year-and-a-half-long study and a third-party evaluation of the Everbridge, and 65 vendors were involved. They limited it down to 13 of the best of the best. You can see them here, and this is what they call the leadership quadrant. This right here is the leader in the quadrant. That means we're number 1. If you can look here, you can see our competition's kind of close to us, not too far. But if you look when they did it again in 2014, again, we were the leader. Why? Ease of use, data management, security of our data. You own your data, by the way. Everbridge does not own your data. There are vendors on the market out there that will own your data, and that's their way of holding you hostage, so you can't switch vendors. We have 98% renewal rate, so it's very important to us to keep our vendors, our customers happy, make sure we delight you, get you your information, you're accessible to your data at any time. You also can launch this system from your smartphone, from your laptop, from your computer, from your desktop. You can do anything you need to get that message out in seconds. We have patents. I'm not going to go through those with you today. I'm going to go ahead and tell you some use cases. So police departments use it for missing persons, shift calls, crime updates, safety reminders, SWAT team, bomb squad, canine, tactical, fire, used it for search and rescue, air support, water support, all Department of Health, water and power, road closures, power outages, down lines, work in the area. Then they use it internally for their employees. We have senior services, the folks reaching out to the senior citizens of your county, your functional needs folks, specifically targeting audiences, getting a hold of the mobility impaired, letting them know help is on the way. Maybe there's FEMA shelters. You want to let them know where the FEMA shelters are, when it's safe to go back to their homes, those kind of information. Department of Agriculture, Parks and Rec uses it, team practices, volunteer days, park closures. Maybe you have, like I said, landfill or a bus garage. I know that some of you folks are in the room. Who's in the different agencies that are here? Can anybody raise their hand and tell me a department that you're from? Water, power here? Okay, so can you guys can see some uses for something like this out to your citizens for late bill reminders or power outages in the area, or if you're going to have a situation of power outages, maybe you want to reach the people that are refrigerated dependent, let them know power's going to be out, please have your medication refrigerated, right? Or is there a landfill? I heard there's a landfill. You might want to let people know when it's good to bring certain things in, or maybe deploy your trucks on certain days when there's late trash pickup, anything like that, right? Something like that? Okay, so I'm kind of on the right track here. So you can see all the different ways that a county can get use out of the system. And I know it's a big picture, but we have permissions and roles. So if you look at it, you say, okay, an account admin can see into every single thing that is on the system. An organization admin can only see into the organization. A group leader can only see in his group. So the police isn't going to see the fire. The fire's not going to see the landfill. But that account admin can see into everything. So we've taken into account the permissions, rules, and granularity of the system for you. And we're constantly adding to that 4 times a year. So we hear what you say, we develop it into our system. We also are part of the TSP. A lot of you may not know what this is, but what this means is we are on the telephone system priorities. So the DHS has deemed us as part of the 3rd we're the third in line to be restored, our circuits are third in line to be restored behind the Secret Service and the CIA. President. We also handle the National Capital Region, 18 counties surrounding and including Washington, D.C. So that's part of the reason that we are one of the only private vendors allowed on the TSP. So what makes us different? Okay, so I have 5 citizens here. Okay, you see that I kind of checked that too soon. Hold on just a second. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see it because it's not showing, but I actually have 3 paths per person. So we support 27 devices per person, okay? So when a call goes out, it's gonna call you on your cell phone, reach you on your email, text you, call you on your relocation number, your home phone, your work phone, as many paths as you provide. Now the neat thing is, a citizen can say, Bob says, I want you to call me on my cell phone, then I want you to text me, then I want you to email me when he signs up. Betty says, I want you to text me first, then I want you to email me, then I want you to call me. Okay, so the citizens have choices. Now you, as the emergency manager, Gary, or the power department head, can then, whoever sent the message, can designate in the order that they want those calls to go out. So we have call confirmation. So if you do check call confirmation, because if it's an emergency, you do want to get confirmation, and you have choices per call, whether you can do it confirmation with message, message only, I could go on and on. But your choices give you the ability to designate and shape your audios. So when you get that call on your cell phone, you're going to press 1 to confirm that you got it. You get it on your email, you're going to click that link, it's good to go. You're going to text back yes, and you're good to go. Here's the great news. You guys can then look at the reports and see the best ways you're reaching these audiences, the best ways to send out the messages. If you're worried about blocking down those CO centers, once somebody gets that call and they've confirmed, they're not going to get another call. They're not going to get another text. They're dropped from the queue, releasing pressure from your CO centers and overloading them. We also have what's called manual call throttle, which means you can slow the system down. So these are all very important points. When you look at this slide, you have a color green. It says, this is EMA, this is an emergency, this is an evacuation for your area. This is the power company. Power company says, this is just a community information. And you know you can hang up on it and leave a message. You know, these are choices you have internally and externally to work with your citizens and your teams. So if a call goes out, it's going to attempt and it's going to reach Alan on his cell, Phil on his email, we're good to go. Second attempt, if you've got it going on 2 cycles, it's going to leave Alan out, leave Phil out, keep trying to reach Sue, Dave, and Janice. Now the nice thing is you can set minutes between each path and device, and you can set minutes between the cycles of the call. So if you have a situation where you need to wait 15 minutes before it deploys again, or you want to read a report, change the message, stop the broadcast, anything of that nature, you can do that. It's kind of like a personal assistant. Gets rid of those calling trees, antiquated phone systems, conference calling systems, all of it in one system. Any questions on that slide? You also can change the caller ID, so per call. So you want to be careful when you send out a call. Best practices will tell you, do not put the 911 department as the place to call back, because then you've got all the citizens calling the 911 department. You want to have it call a number, maybe play a message, whatever you like. So then you're not overwhelming people with confirm and quit. We also are one of the few vendors that does true texting. So true texting is a very important piece. There are 2 ways to text. For those of you who don't know, this might be a little bit educational for you. You have SMTP, which is where you're emailing it to the carrier. And if the responder changes from AT&T to Verizon, they're never going to get the message. There's delays, there's blocks, there's spam, there filters. There's also the fact that you will not get the entire message. A lot of times you'll only get a piece of it. So here's one of our competitors near Cambridge when the bomb went off, and this is the city of Cambridge. Due to the police investigation, Watertown surrounding area, Massachusetts Boston Transit Authority, and it cuts off. Well, that's great. They shut down the rails that day. Here's the Everbridge message. I'm not going to read you the whole message, but you can see very easily, text back yes, we know they got it, we've got confirmation, there's no liability there, and we also know that they got the entire message, and we are whitelisted with every carrier on the market. That's SMS, data management. How do we get your data? What makes it easy? So we do all kinds of ways to get your data. So the first thing we do is we do a commercial upload of your white pages, yellow pages, voter registration from about 150 sources that we get this information from. We also take your 911 data. We do not charge you for uploads and refresh. So I want you to know that you can upload and refresh your data at any time. We have a citizen portal where you're going to design your own fields and the alerts that you want to create, customizable, and you can call it Carter County Alerts. And I'm going to show you a little picture of that in a few minutes. But you can easily capture information if somebody has additional needs, maybe they live with a caregiver, how many kids in the house, do you speak another language, all of these types of things you can communicate with your citizens very easily. We also have adding one at a time, and for those that are going to do internal uploads, it's through a CSV Excel spreadsheet, and we give you a data dictionary, we teach you how to do it. Okay? Any questions on data management? Okay. So we have a commitment to your success. So when you sign up with the Everbridge system, you have 60 days of a dedicated implementation specialist. This person is going to work with you and your teams, your identified stakeholders, and go to meetings, teach you, train you, show you best messages, best practices, how to upload, how to create groups, how to do reporting, how to do live reporting, how to do a phone initiation, anything of that nature. We also have Everbridge University. For the life of the contract, you have 365, 24/7 training. You also get a message sender certification training course with it. So you can make sure that somebody is already certified before you give them access to the full system, so forth and so on. And if Gary hires Billy and says, Billy, I want you to go train in the system, and Billy goes on and trains, he doesn't have to wait for Gary. He can do it 365, 24/7 from home, from any computer, authenticates himself, and he's able to train on the system. We also have customer support, 365, 24/7, as well as 9 to 5 regular business support and online help. Any questions on any of that? We also have on-site premium implementation, so forth. I didn't give you a quote for that, though. So if you want it, I can absolutely add it on. Mobile. Okay, so we have a mobile program, and you download the app to the Android or the iOS, and you're able to shoot a message from anywhere. So if it's the middle of the night, you have to get a message out, you don't have to wait for your computer to boot up. You go ahead and grab your cell phone, and you go into your app. You can send your message effectively and easily just by typing the title here, typing the message here, picking your group. You can map it to your citizens, see how many citizens you're going to reach, and click send. That's it. Okay? Now you can also press that little plus sign, and it syncs in real time with your computer. So now you can download all of your information from a message, and it fills all their fields out. You click send. You can see your reports in real time with a graphical pie. If any of you want to stay a little bit afterwards, I can shoot a message out, and I can show you the mobile app and how easy it is. Okay, any questions on mobile? Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go into the system. All right. And I'm going to hit my password, and we're going to get in. I'm on an air card, so it might take a second or two when I switch screens around. I apologize for that, but we didn't want to take any chances with me trying to fiddle with your internet. So I'm going to go to my organization. There we go. You guys doing okay? Do you have your interest? We're good? Okay. All right. So this is a highly graphical dashboard. And before I go any further, I just want to make sure, before I shoot any calls out or do anything, that I check my group and make sure that everybody has their cell phone with them and on. And you don't have to, you should get a text from me so you can answer by text, but I just want to make sure, are these folks in the room? Because if I shoot calls to people who don't know that I'm doing this. Anybody not here today? Everybody in the room? If you're on this list, Barry, Isaiah, Billy, Randall, Gary, if you've got your cell phone on, if you wouldn't mind, Mr. Mayor, if they turn it on just for the call, that'd be okay?
We'll make an exception.
Oh, okay.
So we're right in.
Okay. I was getting scared here. I'm thinking, oh. Okay, so I'm going to go to the dashboard. So when you open the system, this is what you see. So immediately you can see when you upload records to the Everbridge system, you can assign color to them. The reason why is they're going to show up as dots on a map. Okay, so you're going to be able to actually say, I only want my functional needs folks in this circumference or this area or this shape, and it's only gonna reach those yellow dots. Or I want my 911 data, my citizen opt-in data, my weather, everything. I want it all at once. And you can hit it and all of the layers will be contacted. So you have your choices and they're done by colors, and I'm gonna show you that. We also have events. So each city, county might name an event, Brooksville evacuation, Carter, Elizabethtown flooding, anything of that nature. You can look at an event analysis immediately. And to send a notification, you simply would go into a notification tab. And I'm not going to get too detailed into the workings of the system, but I just want you to see, commissioners especially, I want to address you. I plead with you to look at the ease of use of a system. What I hear every day out in the field from our competitors, and I'm not going to name any, I don't need to do that today, I'm here to sell Everbridge. But I want to stress upon you that when these responders are out in the field, the ease of use to be able to send that message and not go through 37 clicks to get a message out is of the utmost importance to them. I realize budgets and things like that, but when you go to the less expensive systems who have 16 employees to 80 employees, Everbridge has 350, when they're out there, if there's an emergency in more than one county, one city at a time, you better make sure that you've got a company with infrastructure to support those calls, with manpower to back you up 365, 24/7. If your internet is down and you have to call in, you got to make sure that it's not just some small, tiny company that's charging you X amount of dollars, and they're really difficult to get those messages out. These folks that are out in the field need our help to make it as easy to do their job and as time effective as possible. So with saying that, can you all see this? There's a pie here. It's not, my colors are not showing up. For some reason the brightness is a little bit too bright, but there's a pie here. This is your active history screen. This tells you what's going on in the system in the last 30 days, right? So all the system, I can click on any of these messages, I can see a report, I can stop the broadcast, I can send a follow-up to the confirmed, the not confirmed, the confirmed late in seconds, okay? Just with a few clicks, okay? I can also go to my templates. Maybe I have templates that I use all the time, okay? So these are templates where the contacts are set, the settings are set. These are situations that might happen all the time. So I say, okay, well, maybe I've got police activity in the area. And my contacts are set, my settings are set, and I want to send that call out. I check that box, I hit send, I name it Carter County, and Tennessee, and I click send. That's it, the message will go out. That's all I had to do. Everybody got how easy that was, right? So now it's telling me, do I want to stop that call? Do I want to send follow-up? Anything like that? I can do that. So, oh, I forgot to turn my phone on. And the call goes out. Now, it hasn't hit my system yet. Oh yeah, it has. It's hitting my system right now. That's my member app, and that's an additional cost. I'll talk about that another time. But we have additional apps for law enforcement and officers, and I'm not going to confirm on that, so it's going to call me, and I'll put it on speakerphone. If you guys get a call that I put your number in the system, you can go ahead and answer the call. I'll put this on speaker for you.
Listen carefully to this important text message from Leslie Turner using the Everbridge notification suite. Press 1 to hear this message. This is a test. There is police activity in your area. Please lock your doors. Keep your children inside. Please wait for an all clear from the system. Press 1 to confirm receipt. Press 2 to replay this message. Thank you. Your response has been received. Goodbye.
All right, so that's my little fun with you guys today, right? So you'll see that this chart will refresh itself every 60 seconds as we go. And you will also see that I'd like to show you the ability to, you can see, I have 2 confirmed, I have 4 not confirmed. So as they come in, they tell you can look up here how many are in progress, how many have gone on the last 7 days, how many have gone on in the last 30 days. You can go to those reports at any time in seconds. But let's look at a little report of this call. So I'm going to show you what an emergency manager might be able to tell in seconds from his cell phone, smart device, anything of that nature. So I can also click auto refresh on here. So it will keep refreshing as I go. I can see how many confirmed. I can see how many not confirmed. I can look at this chart right here, see it right there. I can also click down here and I can sort the report. So Billy, you did not confirm you're grounded. I don't know if I have the right information for you guys, so I may not have answered it correctly.
I just got it.
Okay, so what it does is it cycles through until it finds you. It will go through every path until it finds you, and then it stops. You notice my phone hasn't rang again. You can't hear all my notifications are on. Not getting anything like that. This just keeps refreshing, so you can see. I'm going to turn this off so we can get a read on this. I want to just okay. So if you look here, you can see Leslie Turner. There's a Y by my name, so it means I did confirm. Now let's see, how did she confirm? She confirmed on her mobile phone. It tried on her app first. She didn't confirm. Connected message delivered, confirmed. If I look down here and I see Billy Harrell, it's now picked up his confirmation. It tried him on all these ways. Connected member hung up. So for those times you want to send messages out, people say, I never got the message. And then you say, oh yes you did, you hung up on it, okay? So there's a lot of ways you can play with your teams, and I always have people in the demos who mess with me and I'm able to see what they did and then they're surprised. It's kind of fun. So you can see Randall, he did not confirm, it did try him on these different paths, and then finally it was successful on work email. So that will then refresh. If I put auto refresh, that N would turn to a Y. So you can see you can sort this report in seconds. You get everybody who's on it. But even more important, you see this tab right here? I can send a follow-up from this screen. I can rebroadcast it. I can stop it. Now imagine in a life and death emergency and you're working fast, how important it is to be able to do these things from one page, not to have to go through several different steps, 9 to 12 clicks to send a message. So if we go rebroadcast, I can also see the method. So if I wanted to test this group, I would say the next time I'm going to send it to go out text first or mobile app first or whatever the best way of reaching them. So you can literally pull different areas in your community and you can find out what the best ways to get this is. So you guys you get that. So basically, I want to show you real quick some mapping because I think this is important. I want to discuss weather for a second. So the Everbridge system gets weather from NWS Direct, okay? ADT and WDT and AccuWeather. It's filtered and it's sent out to the addresses that a citizen would sign up for, okay? You have a choice of 123 weather alerts. You're only going to offer maybe 2 or 3. Severe thunder, severe tornado warning. You might want to put watch, but I wouldn't because citizens do get annoyed with the watches. Each citizen can have 5 addresses per person. So I have Everbridge in Thousand Oaks, California, where I live. And I have my mom's address, my husband's work, my kid's college, my kid's high school, and my home. If anything happens in those 5 areas, I'm going to get a call, okay? So the NWS will do the same thing for the locations that you sign up for. And then you're able to get those messages out to the citizens. Now, it is an additional tool that is to be used with the Citizens NOAA radios, things like that. We don't tell you to buy the system for the weather. We tell you it's a great tool, it comes along, but you know NWS, they can do polygons that are oversized, you can get over-notified, things like that. Well, we've developed a quiet time. So those folks that sign up for these weather alerts can now, between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m., I don't want any calls about a severe thunder. I can figure it out, it's outside my window. However, if it's a tornado warning, that emergency manager can check the back box, and in the back, it will go to everybody in that neighborhood, whether they signed up or they didn't. So that is up to an emergency management and a mayor decision if you want to make that call, but we do have the ability to do it. And so, with that said, it's following the polygons of the National Weather Service, so forth and so on. And then Gary would actually have it launch automatically notifications for deployment of teams, if that were the case. And that's an internal situation, which a lot of you would be bored if I kept going on about that. But just so you know how easy it is for Gary and his team, He can filter contacts. He can say, oh, okay, I want to get my functional needs folks, so he'll go down here. These are all the filters I set up. I made possibilities, or I want all my volunteers in this area. Those are the only dots that will show up on the map, okay? And those are the only folks that would get the message. I can also say, well, there's a dot here. There's a dot here. They're different colors. Let's see who this is. So I can go down here and I can click on those dots, and it's Gary Smith with his address, okay? So I can see who these dots are, where they are. I can also draw a shape. So I can say, okay, well, I'm gonna draw a polygon. So I'm gonna go here, here, and we have one contact in the polygon, and they would get the message, okay? The other thing I can do is have a library of shapes. So you guys have flooding here. So you can upload to floodplains. You can upload any kind of shapes that you want. You're going to be able to lay them down onto the map, and those contacts and those shapes are going to get those messages. You're also able to exclude a contact. If you have an active shooter, you need to call everybody around a 3-block radius, let them know get out of Dodge, or get your kids inside like you heard my message. And by the way, on my message, you might want to get your kids inside before you lock your doors. We have our display layers, we have contact layers. Here's where you pick for the colors of the dots. You guys remember me talking about that. And then you can also have change your map. So what if you say, well, this is great, Leslie, but I don't like this map. I've got some very rural areas and I want to look at it in Esri. It holds your information, it'll lay your Esri map down. You can take this box and you can move him around anywhere you want. You can close him out. You can close this out and say, I'm ready to do my notification. Well, every other vendor on the market, you have to switch the page, not with Everbridge. You just click new notification, your workflow goes to your right, your message flow is on your left, and this is how you create a message from scratch, which I can show you in seconds. If you guys want to see me create one, I can do that. And it's a very simple process. You type in your title, you type in your group and your message, and you click and you name an event and click send. That's it, okay? You can save templates, libraries of messages, so forth and so on. But I want to keep this kind of high level today because I want you guys to get the most out of your questions and anything I can do for you that way. Everything in the Everbridge setup is done in the settings tab. You also can do your reports. So the nice thing is power, landfills, this might interest you guys. You can have custom reports. You can create a report. Now, if you're an organization admin, you can create the report, and every group under you has to use that report, okay? If you're an admin, though, you can design any report you want. You simply drag and drop the fields right here. So delivery methods, and maybe you have a choice of all these fields. I want to know what the best message body is, and so forth and so on. You can also filter the report. Okay, you can drag and drop filters and you can add conditions and values. What that does for you is it gives you the ability to see how many under one message, you know, the best way they got it, all of those things. They drop into fields from left to right. This would convert into a PDF, CSV, save it, name it, you're good to go. Okay? And that's some of the reporting. And I can touch back at the end of the demo for anything you guys want to know about, but just to let you know, you can also do what's called an event analysis. So one of the things you might want to do is look at an event and see how everything is responding to that event. So if I looked here and I said event analysis and I went under here and I picked up Carter County, I could then do all the messages for that event, that flood, that shooter, that power outage, whatever it is. It would all come out under one report and I could analyze it in depth. I can also come over here and go to my settings and I can change my color green. I can change the order of the delivery paths. I can change, if there's an alert going out to the public that I don't want to go out to the public anymore, I don't have to call Everbridge. I uncheck the box, public never sees that alert again. So it's very, very easy to do, and I made a portal for you. I stole your logo, and it looked like this. I did this in my hotel room last night. So your citizens would see something like this. If we can't reach you, we can't alert you. They might sign up right here, and they'll go in. Oh, whoops, I did the wrong one. Sorry, I have a lot of passwords. Okay, Let's see if this one works. Did I get in? Wait, is it not? Yes, thank you. Get a lot scared there. Okay. So I can see my profile, my alert subscriptions, and again, you guys are going to name the fields that you want to know about from your public. You don't have to do all this. Make it very simple. Maybe 3, 4 alerts, that's it. Or you can get really granular because if you've got a lot of people contributing to the pot, they want to have some alerts come out, then it makes it a lot nicer. And this is what makes it so special. So if you look here, I want to edit my alert subscriptions. So maybe I want to look at what are my emergency alerts. I don't want emergency meeting anymore. Okay, maybe that's not the right one to use in this room, but you can see. And you can pick and choose the alerts you want. Maybe I want these kind of alerts for refrigerated medication. Maybe I'm diabetic or mobility impaired. Maybe I want a situation where I'm public utilities and I want to know power outages, service in my area, late payment bills, anything of that. I made these up for you guys, I guessed. Hope it was right. So I can say weather alerts. I want severe. I want flood. I want tornado. And I don't want to be contacted unless it's tornado. If you notice, I can't check that because I have it mandatory, okay, for my citizens between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. They won't get a severe thunder warning behind that, but they will get the severe tornado. So you can see, and coming in our functionality, we're going to allow you to do this for every alert, by the way. But that's coming down the road. We have roadmaps of things that we're doing. County government, parks and rec, park closures, team meetings, sporting events, anything of that nature. So you can pretty much do anything you want with this. But the other thing you might want to keep in mind is, I'm not going to save these changes, I'm just going to go ahead. Maybe I want you to reach me on my member app first, and I can designate then my mobile phone, my work email. Again, you can override this, but you give the citizen a lot more power, a lot more choices, eliminating a lot more complaining about that they got a call or what have you. So you also have the ability to have your first name, your last name, any field mandatory. So you can make sure that they do fill out an email address. And the email address is important. Why? Because if they lose or forget their password, you want them to be able to get it by an email. Things like that. So we would go over here, and you can go over to, you can see how you can design that. You can say my locations. I have 2, but I might want to add 3 more. So I can do that, and I'll get calls for those areas. Here's some information about me. By the way, I'm CPR certified, and I have a language preference, English, Spanish, any of those natures, okay? I can also select a language for my portal out of 90 languages from Google Translate, okay? Now, we don't always recommend Google Translate. It's not a for sure thing, but if you've got a large Spanish-speaking population or Korean population, anything of that nature, you might want to have them have the ability to at least get, basic information through this portal. You also can ask the person, do you want SMS? If not, we'll send it SMTP, and that's fine. But I just want to give you the option either way. So they know that if they, if they have a certain calling plan, what have you, that they might have a charge applied for text, so they can opt out of that. And that gives them more choices that way. You can also have an overview done, Carter County, Tennessee Alert Program. I just typed in all this. You would type in anything you want that's mandatory for your laws. Your FAQs, you can do anything of this nature, and it tells the citizen what is it, when it'll be used. Again, fully editable, fully customizable, totally branded to you. Not to Everbridge, not to a competitor of ours. It actually belongs to Carter County, and they can do anything they want with it. And that, everybody, is the high-level overview of the Everbridge system. Try to keep it timely. I know that a lot of you are not technical people that really care a lot about the exact notification process, but it is important that you do help your folks pick a company that's easy to use, that they can do from anywhere in the world at any time, and that they have manpower and support behind them. I think it's crucial. So are there any questions I can answer? Did anybody have anything they wanted to ask? Nothing?
Anyone? No questions?
Nothing.
Well, you did an excellent job, Leslie, with this overview.
I tried. I don't want to get too detailed because I start to lose people, and I just,
Well, thank you so much.
I so enjoyed
Gary,
meeting all of
if
you.
you would, while Leslie's taking down her equipment, Larry, Gary, could you please just make a brief statement as to your position on this system, the need for the county, and then we can address it later in the meeting.
All right. Hold on a second. I got to get something for you. This is the magic number. Everybody's going to say, well, how much is this, right? So I have, let's see if I can enlarge it for you. And how do I get rid of this? There we go. Okay. So you're looking at, for the Everbridge Mass Notification System, the WEA alerts, which a lot of you may or may not know, Gary can explain that to you, and Smart Weather, it comes to a total of $19,824. Annual, flat, a year. Now, I did waive your setup fee, and I will add 2 orgs for you at no cost. And what that means is you can have power if they chose to contribute. Main contributors can be an organization and they can work very autonomously with their own color greens, their own everything. The actual, and then every other county department can be a group. Gary's EMA, and the group leader will only see his group, can add and delete contacts to his group, can change and edit messages. They just can't change the color green or, without Gary's permission. So there are certain rules and permissions that this will allow. This is a flat annual fee. I've locked it in for 5 years for you. So I gave you a 1-year contract with 4 1-year options, okay? So if you decide at the end of the year, you know what, no one's using this, we don't want it, or it's not helpful, or what have you, which I hope to God doesn't happen, with a 98% renewal rate, I can tell you it usually doesn't, and you'll renew again. But at least you know we're not going to up that price on you every year. We're trying to be as fair as possible. And keep in mind, every county department, sheriff, fire, whatever you've got, they can use the system every single day. Emergency calls, conference calls, daily shift calls, whatever it is. And I see you guys are getting very technically savvy with your voting and all of that, which is really interesting. I've never seen that before. And I go to some pretty sophisticated counties. And I thought that was pretty cool. So it's a graduation up in technology, but it's an interoperability. And I think it's important you know this is there. Whether you buy it or not is up to you, but you know it's there and you know you can make your lives for your responders a lot easier through it. Having said that, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank Leslie just a few minutes to take the equipment down, and Gary will speak just very briefly as to what's been done to date, the number of people has been introduced to, and then it can be addressed later in subcommittee.
Yes, we actually have been looking at this. My predecessor had been looking at mass notification systems for several years. And so I picked up, because I was getting calls from the various vendors, and we looked at least 5 different vendors. Thus far, Everbridge has provided the most bang for the buck. I mean, it's a lot of money, we understand that. But when you break it down, it ends up being about, if I remember correctly, I figured it up at one point, it's about 24, 25 cents a person per year for the population of Carter County. And that's not a lot of money to spend for something that could save lives. And with this particular system, it has a lot of versatility. It has the ability to have private groups, to have their own little thing going on. They can notify their people when they need to. They don't need to wait on us. They simply log on. They do the things that they need to do. So thus far, like I said, this has been probably the most versatile system, and I believe up to this point, the most cost-efficient system. So again, I'll be happy to field any questions you may have.
Leave you my cards, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
If anybody needs a card and they think of a question or a scenario, feel free to contact me either through Gary or through my email in the office. So keep going.
In our discussion previously, it's my understanding that this whole amount, so y'all know, we're not being funded by one entity. Am I correct? is that not supposed to be had?
Correct. That's
Which
something
something
that
sharing
we're looking
that,
at.
sheriff's department, they will come from various fire departments, from various agencies. So the county commission is not going to have nothing from that dollars. The fund, money's going to be spread monthly based upon the city's use of the city.
Correct, and I appreciate you bringing that up, Sheriff. That was one of the things that we were hoping to do was get buy-in from the various organizations so that way the cost can be spread across the entire county instead of just coming up from the commission itself and asking for the funds.
Typically, that is the way it's done in the counties, if I may just say. Everybody, they'll say, okay, here's the population, here's what it costs per citizen. But internally, what's done is, sheriff may have 500 sworn officers. He'll take it for, I'm just guessing, sheriff, $2,000. Power may have 600, and they'll take it for whatever. The nice thing is, with the unlimited plan, is you're not going to be charged and nickel and dimed and have an accounting nightmare for this nice lady right here to handle. You guys will just have the system. So I just wanted to add that. I don't know, this is what I see in New Orleans, fire, Homeland Security, volunteers. There's different groups that have chipped in and contributed. So.
Well, thank you so much. Gary, collect the information, take it to Health and Welfare Committee, get it to them. Know exactly what our true cost is. $20,000 right now is enough to throw most of us in.
No, I didn't mean to have anybody have a heart attack.
Thank you.
Gary will.
Thank you, Gary. Are we ready? Okay, the next item on the agenda is acceptance of the minutes from the previous meeting. You all have those in your packet. You've had an opportunity to review. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Mr. Lewis makes a motion to accept, second by Mr. Von Cannon. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would please proceed with the vote. Doc? Okay. Madam Clerk, reveal the vote, please. All ayes. Motion passed. Next, we have notaries and bonds. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the notaries and bonds.
Amanda Sayre, Patricia Mosier, Kenny Woodson, Wesley Allen Taylor, Charles Don Stanley, Jason L. Hart, Travis B. Holly, Elaine Fair, David L. Euler, Randall Kelly Crane, Marquez Duggar, Lori Hutchins, George Sheets Jr., James Hart, Heather Hicks, Anna Ann Pierce, Sonia, Judy Broyle, Amy Pate, Janessa Freeman, Alyssa English, Christina Everett Bott, Alexandria McCoy, Kathy R. Campbell, and Amy S. Campbell.
Make a motion, we accept.
Have a motion made by Commissioner Trivett. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Grindstaff. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote, please. We've got Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Miller, Mr. Lyons, and Mr. Gobble still voting.
That's not working either.
I'm not working either.
Okay? Try to vote again and confirm.
Aye. It's not gonna do it, so.
The way those
Technical difficulties.
Is there a reset?
Yeah, the lockout button's been pushed. The lockout button's been pushed.
The lockout button has been pushed, so can we go ahead and reset it? It was on this end.
If they hit confirm now, it should work.
Try to hit
The
confirm.
lockout button's been pushed again.
You want me to push it or not push it?
It's flashing, push it again.
1 second, please.
Don't put, okay, let it go. Okay, now try it. Everybody.
Try it again, please. Mr. Hill's confirming. Would everyone else please try? Mr. Goblin.
Sir, I pushed the thing 3 times.
Try it again, sir. Thank you. Madam Clerk, if you would please reveal the vote. All ayes, motion passed. There's going to be a few bumps in the road, hitting the button, hitting the sequence, so that was on this end, no problem. We will work through this, it's all new. Thank you for your patience. Okay? Yes, sir.
We have a short break prior to this next item.
We have a request for a very brief 5-minute break before we get into the election. Do I hear a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Let's take a 5-minute break, recess, and be back.
That certainly is a system that she's selling is I think the Cadillac of the systems, I guess, but we get everybody to
We can get the city, county, different departments, even
I wonder if that price included city, police and fire, as well as county.
I think so. That was an actual.
Okay, well, if you get all those people about that, I mean, look at the capability. If you get all those people, do that back. Susan?
We should all check it out.
Read one.
seat. Let's get back in session. Quite a bit of business to take care of today. And if you would please, those of you that turned your phone on for the demonstration, please shut it off. We're going to get right into the elections for the 1st and 3rd district. Fill those vacancies. We will start with the candidates in the 1st district. Each of the candidates will have 5 minutes to address the commission to expand upon their application, the resume, so that you'll at least be able to put a face to the credentials before you make your decision and cast your vote. It's an extremely important election, so please give it your utmost consideration. So with that, we will start with the first candidate as listed on the information that was provided, and that would be Mr. Robert Acuff. Mr. Acuff, sir, if you would please come to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Bob Acuff. Probably will be the newest member of Carter County to speak to you this morning about this important position. But I am not foreign to the region. This starts my 34th year in August as a faculty member of East Tennessee State University in the Florida College of Medicine. So I know very much what goes on in the region. I participated in the region and have really enjoyed contributing back to the Citizens First in Johnson City and Washington County, as well as East Tennessee State University. When my job changed at ETSU, we moved back from Knoxville to the Tri-Cities because I needed to be on campus a little bit more regularly at the medical school. We had a choice to make. We could have lived back in Washington County, Johnson City, but we were really drawn to Carter County, not only because of the Creator's beauty that He has blessed you with, but because of the people, and because of the potential that we see. We made that decision to become Carter County and to be part of your community and to serve with you in your community. I know that each of you here, and probably the men and women that will come after me to speak to you this morning, want to participate in something where they can make a difference. We all want to make a difference. I like to think that in my time, those almost 34 years, serving East Tennessee State University and serving the surrounding communities, God has used my gifts to be able to serve in a respectable way and a meaningful way, whether it be attracting corporations to partner with East Tennessee State University, whether it be serving on the Johnson City, Washington County Regional Planning Commission, where I served as Vice Chair of Chapter, particularly at an important time in Johnson City's history in building the MedTech corridor, or whether it be a part of helping to organize for the 1st Congressional District, all county mayors to address the issues that you heard a presentation on this morning, and it's bioterrorism, homeland security. It has been a privilege to do those things, and something that I would like to continue as part of your community. Those of you that have reached out and have been very open to talk with me, I appreciate the phone calls, appreciate the dialogue that we've had, appreciate the opportunity. And to Mr. Livingston's point, I can appreciate where he's coming from, and I guarantee you that if we had been here during election time, I would have thrown my hat in the ring and we would have been vetted through that process. Unfortunately, we arrived a little bit after that. As most of you know who have asked me, I do have strong Tennessee roots. My dad's first cousin is Roy Acuff, familiar with country music. And I am an 8th generation Tennessean. So I have a vested interest, my family has a vested interest in what happens in this state, and particularly now in this county, because when I retire from ETSU, we won't be leaving Carter County. We'll be living right here. I'm passionate about education. Obviously, you don't spend 34 years in higher education unless you are. I really appreciate that the fact that knowledge, and particularly skills, means that our young folks can compete effectively for jobs. It also means, as an educated workforce, we can attract business. And I've been at many of the education committee meetings, and I really appreciate Dr. Ward and his staff. I think we're blessed to have him as superintendent. Other areas that I think we're blessed with is the issue of tourism. I don't know where in the state of Tennessee, and certainly in the United States, you could enjoy such beautiful surroundings as we have here in Carter County. Last year, in the state of Tennessee, more folks visited our state than any time before. It's a real opportunity, I think, for tourism. To not only market our streams and rivers, but also the vistas, but also our history. For those of you that were down with Siege of the Watauga this weekend, my wife and I are taking advantage of all the opportunities and the region for the rich history. All of that is an opportunity, whether it's done through Carter County tomorrow, and I've been at commission meetings with them all debated whether that's a useful entity anymore or not, or through other entities. What an opportunity Carter County has to attract folks here. It would be appropriate, I think, to let you know I'm passionate about those things, but also that if given the opportunity, if given the privilege to sit next to Commissioner Campbell, I will serve the citizens very well. I'm very impressed this past number of weeks to sit in on the budget committee hearings. Unlike other entities, which if you read the Star, you probably picked up a bottom line that I'm concerned, obviously, about this tax and spend issue for all counties. But I can commend members of the budget committee. You listened, you talked to your department heads, you sought after information from the financial director, you listened. And I think that's one of the primary things that you have to do, and we all have to do as part of this commission or any other body, is to listen. And I've been very pleased to say we should compliment the budget committee members for doing this. Whether you give me the privilege to serve as a part of this group or not, I offer myself to the citizens of Carter County, and if it's appropriate that you would like to appoint me to another board or commission, I would be happy to serve there for the betterment of Carter County and its citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Apcott. Next candidate is William Birchfield. Mr. Birchfield.
Good morning. I'm William Birchfield. Some of you know me, a lot of you don't. A lot of people are concerned of who I am. Like you said, I'm here to put a face with a name today. Been a lot of people asking questions about me, receiving information from other people, resumes, so on. Basically, I suppose that's all you know. I applied for this position because I am a concerned citizen, a voter, and a taxpayer of Carter County. I'm a grassroots type person, a simple man, and I'm for the people. To me, it's all about the people. Without the people, you have no government. I'm that person that's in the local restaurants, cafes, stores, talking to people, listening to their concerns, listening to them express themselves. I ran for the commission in the last election. I was the fourth highest recipient of votes. I I would like to serve on this commission, to serve those people that voted for me, to serve the people of Carter County. I would like to work together with the commissioners as one to do what's best for the people of Carter County, with the people in mind always. I would consider it an honor, and I'm here today to request the commission to grant me the privilege to serve on this board. I would like to thank the people of Carter County, the voters of the 1st District, I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Birchfield. Next one is Mr. Christopher Schuler. Mr. Schuler.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Sir, if you would, please.
At this time, I'm going to send my name from this position. Request.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Schuler. The next is Mr. Albert Stevenson. Mr. Stevenson.
Hello, my name is Albert Stevenson. I go by Steve. Just a little background on myself. I moved here about 1.5 years ago. I served in 2 branches of the military. I came to Tennessee most of my life for vacations, and I love it up here. I worked for a sheriff's office in Florida for 25 years. And while there, the sheriff's office had a contract to run the city of Mineola Police Department, and I was their police chief for 4 years there. During that time, I had to attend city council meetings every month, twice a month. So I do have some experience with city council meetings. I live down in the Stony Creek area. I've been about 1.5 years. And my experience comes from my time with the sheriff's office in Florida, where I'm from. And I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. And I'm always concerned about, I live in Florida, the crime there, and I'm concerned about the crime here. So I want my kids to grow up in an area that I can be proud of and I feel secure with them. And I'm a Christian. I'm a social and fiscal conservative, and that's how I would intend to go if you guys would have me. I originally had a presentation here that was at least twice as long as the Everett presentation, but I was going to spare you guys that. It was at least twice as detailed as that. Anyway, I would appreciate your vote if you have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. That concludes the address of the candidates in the 1st District. The floor is open for nominations. Nominations do not require second. So, Ms. Nancy Brown.
I'll nominate Mr. Birchfield.
Nancy Brown nominates Mr. Birchfield.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I nominate Mr. Acuff.
Mr. Acuff is nominated by Mr. Peterson. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Chair seeing none, we'll proceed with the vote. There are two candidates, Mr. Birchfield and Mr. Acuff. As the clerk calls your name, respond with the last name of your candidate of choice for the 1st District seat.
Al Meehan,
Acuff.
Ronnie Crivitt,
Birchfield.
Montana, Charles Montana,
Birchfield.
Elsie Hester,
Acuff.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Acuff.
Danny Ward,
Acuff.
Ross Garland,
Acuff.
Timothy Horan,
Acuff.
Bobby Dees, Randall Jenkins,
Birchville.
Larry Miller,
Birchville.
John Lewis,
Birchville.
Ray Lyons,
Birchville.
Sandra Culler, Scott Simmons,
Acuff.
Cody McQueen,
Birchville.
Robert Carroll,
Birchville.
Robert Goble,
Birchville.
Ten for Birchville, 12 for Acuff. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Right.
Mr. Acuff is elected. Okay. Now we'll move on to 3rd District candidates. The first one is Ms. Cannon.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mayor. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and I will keep it brief because I know that you've all seen the packets and the information that we have put in there. I will just briefly say that living in Carter County has been very important to us. As I said in the information in the packet, I live less than a mile from where my grandmother Gobble grew up, and we're probably even closer than that to where my husband's family, the Smallings and the Cannons, have been farming for generations. So our roots run deep in this county. But not looking back and looking forward, my children are here and working here. My grandchildren are going to school here. And I think that the opportunities, that the decisions that you make is going to affect them and their future and the future of all of the people who love this county. The thing that I thought was interesting is when I said I was going to put in an application for this vacancy, a lot of people said, "Why are you doing that?" And it struck me kind of funny, but as many people as asked me, I did start to give it a lot of thought. And I thought the best thing I can do is educate myself. So you started seeing me coming to your meetings. I've been to several commission meetings, several committee meetings, and I have learned a lot from all of you. I have seen you agree, I've seen you disagree, but have always seen you put the best interests of this county and its citizens at the forefront. I watched at a budget committee meeting as one of you asked hard questions of the department heads. All of you asked the things that matter, you want to know. And that stewardship is so important to us as citizens. I reiterate what the other folks have said. It would be a privilege to serve and an honor to work with you. And believe me, I have seen that it is work, that you do put a lot of time, that you do put a lot of care and love into the decisions you make. One of the things that, as I was going through this process of making the decision, and that I kept coming back to, was an article that was in the paper. I know a lot of you know Dr. Robert Sands, who just recently retired from many years working in this county and serving in this county. And in this article, he made a statement that I have gone back to many times, and this is what I will leave you with. He said, and I quote, "I believe everyone should do their community service or keep their mouths shut." So I want to tell you how much I appreciate your service, and that whether I'm serving on this committee or as I have served in the past on the executive committee and been an officer in the Republican Party for both the party and the women's group, if you're not out there serving, if you're not out there working, it's pretty hard to hear some of that criticism. So I would love to serve here with you. but you'll find out I won't keep my mouth shut either. I appreciate it, and I would appreciate your support, and I would be honored to serve beside you.
Thank you, Ms. Cannon. Next would be Gordon Carroll. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Carroll? Okay, Mr. Hall. Mr. Scotty Hall. Mr. Harrison. Mr. Kenneth Harrison. Mr. Harrison. I know Mr. Carroll was here earlier, so was Mr. Harrison. Mr. Johnson, if you would, sir, come forward.
Morning. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioners. I'm Brad Johnson. I'm a life member of this county. 60 years as a resident of the 3rd District, which is Range Central Kingburg community. I'm here to present myself as a candidate to you for the vacancy of the commissioner in the 3rd District, which was vacated. And before I begin, just briefly, I want to qualify a particular word, which is one that I don't like very distinctly, is the word I. Everything with success in my 3 and 4 careers have been because of being a part of a wonderful group or a party of where everybody worked together. It's just fortunate that a lot of times I had recognition where others didn't that worked just as hard and was just as fruitful as I was. Right? So when I use the word I, you see a group, not as a singular. For one, that I want to bring to this commission knowledge and profession and the skill levels of several professions of which I've been fortunate to form and be certified and qualified in. For one, I'm not a member of any political party, as you all know it, but I belong to one of the largest groups of this nation and of this free world. I am a patriot. I am retired from military service, serving on the Civil Corps of Engineers with a group of special operations known as the Navy Seabees. I've traveled the world over, but this has always been home. There is nothing any greater in the world than the mountains of Carter County and the people. A lot of you are a part of that group, and I appreciate your service. People that preceded me, people that participate with me, and the ones in the future, because our nation depends on me. And they all uphold the Constitution of this fine land. I've served in places from Southeast Asia during the Vietnam era until in the Desert Shield and Desert Storms. Prior to that and during those times, my service was both active and reserve. One as an engineer at the Department of Veteran Affairs, office construction, the Mountain Home. I was one of the project resident engineers, project manager, and designer, with in excess of more than $300 million, of which we completely renovated the Veterans Administration. I have retired from that federal service. I'm presently up to date. I have retired from this county as a law enforcement officer and have since been asked to return, and I work at the Love Creek Sheriff Dexter Lunsford on an as-needed basis in the criminal investigation division. I presently do all of the fire and arson investigations in the county, which is also connected to the fire department. Some of my side jobs along with all those activities is one, I was one of the original members of the Planning Commission of this county. I have served for 22 years, 8 years of those 22 as the chair of your Planning Commission. I've served on the Board of Zoning Appeal for the previous 8 years, of which the past 3 years I am the chair of the Board of Zoning Appeal. And the most current one, I'm in my 2nd year as a member of the Civil Service Board of this county. I ask your support to this, and everything in my career, even further, I lend all of my ability, knowledge, to make logical decisions to better for the people of the Carter County. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. With that, the next candidate is Mr. Billy Peters. Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Billy W. Peters. I know that all of you know me. I show up here at the meetings quite regularly. I am a veteran of the United States Army Airborne. I will be 75 years old this coming November the 13th. My wife, Donna, and I have been married for 55 years. We have 2 children, both going to Hunter Elementary, Elizabethton High School, and ETSU. I support a quality education in Carter County in order to prepare our children to be competitive in this changing world. I'm a lifelong resident of Carter County, although my vocation as a consulting engineer has me going out of town to work. We're not building nuclear power plants in Carter County. But I maintained a home here for my family while I was in that time. I am a licensed pastor. I volunteer as a chaplain at Sycamore Children's Hospital, along with 8 other pastors in our county. I'm past commander of Post 49 American Legion. I am past vice commander of East Tennessee in the American Legion. I work for veterans. I support veterans and currently serve as a service officer for veterans in our post. We have everything in our county that industry is looking for. We have land, we have water, we have a competitive electricity. Our tax base is stable, and we have an employable workforce. Everything that industry is looking for, we have. So we need people with a vision for Carter County to grow. We were first in the nation. Carter County had a constitution and had a legally elected governing body prior to the Declaration of Independence. We started liberty in this country. We need to promote that across the world. Mr. Acuff talked about tourism. It is very important. We have trout streams that are not comparable any place in the world. We have mountains of beauty that there's songs written about all the time. We have our lakes. We have our people. Some of the friendliest people in the world are right here in my hometown. And I thank each and every one of you. I want to serve. I think my experience in construction, in maintenance, in operations, and in contract administration will be beneficial to this commission and to the voters of Carter County. And I look forward to serving. Thank you so much for your confidence and your vote.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Mr. Robert Robbins. Mr. Robbins.
Hello, my name is Robert Robbins. I live in Carter County on Wilson Avenue here in Elizabethton. I'm a community leader. I'm the president of the Biltmore Kingburg Community Center. Been there since 2003. I've been with the Watauga Fire Department. In March will be 10 years as a volunteer firefighter here in this community. I have a son that goes to Elizabethton High School, a wife, and I'm a trustee at Eastside Free Will Baptist Church. I like to work for the community. I do that, and it shows in what I've got done. I own a business here, a heavy construction company. I've been here successfully since 2002. I moved back up here from Florida. I was born in Shady Valley, Tennessee. We moved to Mountain City. That's where I was educated. Then I went to Florida. I'm a Air Force veteran, 22nd Civil Engineering Squadron, heavy equipment, pavements. I've done all aspects of construction. My father was a builder for 50 years. I'm a fourth generation brick mason, and I'm just here to help my community and stand up and be a voice and help do what needs to be done in this community, the 3rd District of Kingburg. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Miss Deborah Sams phoned the office on Friday and informed my administrative assistant, Susan, that she was withdrawing her application. So let me call once more Mr. Carroll, Mr. Hall, and Mr. Harrison. With that, it concludes the addresses by the candidates to the commission. So therefore, again, as we did in the first, the floor is open for nominations for 3rd District Commissioner. Mr. Lewis.
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Brady Johnson.
Mr. Lewis, nominate Mr. Johnson. Okay, and Ms. Cole?
Nominate John Cannon.
Cole? Ms. Cannon? Any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Mr. Trill Peters.
Mr. Trivett nominates Mr. Peters. Any other nominations? With that, nominations will cease, and we'll ask the clerk to call the roll, and as the clerk calls the roll, you respond by the candidate of choice, Mr. Johnson, Ms. Cannon, or Mr. Peters. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Peters,
Cannon.
Willie Campbell,
Cannon.
Nancy Brown,
Johnson.
Mike Hill,
Cannon.
Al Meehan,
Johnson.
Ronnie Crivitt,
Peters.
Charles Von Cannon,
Johnson.
Elsie Tester,
Johnson.
Isaiah Rhinestone,
Johnson.
Danny Ward,
Cannon.
Ross Garland,
Peters.
Timothy Hogan,
Johnson.
Bobby Dees,
Cannon.
Randall Jenkins,
Peters.
Mary Miller,
Peters.
John Lewis,
Johnson.
Ray Lyons,
Peters. Peters.
Sandra Color,
Cannon.
Scott Simmerly,
Peters.
Cody McQueen,
Johnson.
Robert Carroll,
Peters.
Robert Goddard,
Peters.
Kevin Gaines, Peters, and Johnson, and 6
We have 8 for Mr. Peters, 8 for Johnson, and 6 for Ms. Cannon. The lowest vote getter falls off, so now we'll have another round of votes. You'll have 2 candidates, Mr. Peters, Mr. Johnson. So let's give the clerk just a moment. You know when you're ready, Madam Clerk. Clerk is ready, so as the clerk calls your name, respond with either Peters or Johnson as your choice for 3rd District Commissioner. Madam Clerk, call roll.
Stephen Peters,
Johnson.
Willie Campbell,
Johnson.
Nancy Brown,
Johnson.
Mike Hill,
Johnson.
Al Meehan,
Johnson.
Ronnie Crivitt,
Peters.
Charles Von Cannon,
Johnson.
Elsie Testor,
Johnson.
Isaiah Brown
Johnson.
Dan Ward,
Johnson.
Ross Garland,
Peters.
Timothy Holder,
Johnson.
Bobby Dees,
Johnson.
Randall Jenkins,
Peters.
Larry Miller,
Peter.
John Lewis,
Johnson.
Ray Lyons,
Peters.
Sandra Color,
Johnson.
Scott Simmerly,
Peters.
Cody McQueen,
Johnson.
Robert Carroll,
Peters.
Robert Goff,
Peters.
Final vote was 14 for Johnson, 8 for Peters. Congratulations, Mr. Johnson. Now, if Mr. Johnson and Mr. Acuff would come forth, the county clerk will swear you in and you can take your seat.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Tennessee, and will faithfully and honestly discharge the duties of the office of county commissioner to the best of your skills and ability? You will faithfully demean yourself as such in the performance of the duties of this office, which you do hereby assume, so help you God.
Gentlemen, congratulations.
Mayor, I would just like to thank all the others who went to the effort to present their applications, and this does not mean that they aren't worthy to serve the county anyway. I just want to commend you all for throwing your names in the hat, and we appreciate it.
I'll second that, Commissioner Meehan. We did have an excellent slate of candidates, great credentials and background. Keep in mind, these seats, the positions that were filled today, run only through next year's election. So those two seats will be up in the midterm election or mid-year elections. So that's not that far off. So just keep that in mind. Also, Mr. Acuff and Mr. Johnson, I think Susan has given you your keypad. Any questions as far as the use of, she'll be glad to address for the electronic voting system. Pretty straightforward, just aye, nay, abstain, and confirm. Okay? Next item on the agenda is the Hampton Utility District appointment, and I'll address that this time. Tennessee Code Annotated 7-82-307, Commissioners, number of terms, vacancies, election of commissioners, Section 4. Vacancies on the Board of Commissioners shall be filled by appointment of the county mayor within 60 days after the occurrence of a vacancy in the office of any commissioner caused by death, resignation, disability, or forfeiture of office, and no later than 30 days prior to the expiration of the term of office of any incumbent. The Board of Commissioners or its remaining members shall select 3 nominees to fill such office. In full accordance with any residential requirement that may apply to the office vacated or to be vacated, and under the seal of the Board of Commissioners, shall certify such list of nominees in order of preference recommended by such commissioners to the county mayor of the county in which the utility district or its principal office is located, or of the county in which the commissioners customarily meet if the district has no principal office. Within 21 days after the issuance of certification by the Board of Commissioners to the county mayor may enter an order either appointing one of the nominees or rejecting the entire list, or may refrain from taking any action, in which the first name on the list of nominees shall be deemed appointed to fill the vacancy for a new term by law. Any order either appointing one of the nominees or rejecting a list of nominees shall be entered of record on the minutes of the county legislative body, and a certified copy of the order shall be furnished to the full Board of Commissioners and to the appointee. Now, Ms. Linda Guy, Office Manager of Hampton Utility District, submitted a certified list of nominees dated March 12th for appointment consideration. That was too late to get on the March Commission meeting agenda. There's a copy of the said list in your packet. The first name on the list is that of Mr. David Cable. Per the provisions of the statute, Mr. Cable is reappointed to fill the position which expired on May 8, 2015. The new position has a 4-year term and will expire on May 8, 2019. Madam Clerk, please let the minutes reflect said appointment. Mr. Lewis.
Mr. Moderator, I've never been in favor of elected utilities people the way they do it now. They get the same ones in office all the time. Now, Stony Creek has got the best idea of elected by people. But now, maybe one of these days, my fellow commissioners, there might be something floating around that we can vote on to change this system. It ain't fair to the people of Hampton. And the 2 commissioners in on there want who they want to. And when he resigned, they want somebody else. And it's not fair to the people of Hampton. So I oppose this thing. We'll do good, but I oppose the bill.
We appreciate your input, Mr. Lewis. It's, we definitely do. Any other comments before we move on to the next order of business? Next item is item 14, tax roll additions and deletions. Mr. Lewis, Mr. Randall Lewis, would you want to make any statement at all in reference to these additions and subtractions that you have submitted?
If anyone has any questions?
Does anyone have any questions? Mr. Lewis, could you come up and answer questions for me?
Yes, sir. I've got a question. Why did he people come off this tax roll? Have they gone out of business or moved out of town or what?
The information that we receive at the trustee's office is from the tax assessor's office. It can be a variety of things if it has been taken off. If a structure has burnt, if someone had a business and they're no longer in business, or if an addition to a property, if a trailer's been taken off, a building's been taken off, whatever the reason, that is taken off the tax rolls. And then if there is something that's added through the year, of course that is added through the tax assessor's office. And they forwarded this information. We have to have a form authorized through the tax assessor's office before we can put it into our system, before we can either take it off or add it to our tax rolls. Any more questions?
Mr. Lewis,
Yes, sir.
you mean to tell me we only picked up $10,000 in extra taxes since 2013?
That is a question that we'll probably have to go to the tax assessor's office. Like I say, we forward this to our system. I know there's a big difference in tax dollars versus the deleted ones. Of course, the one that's been added. That's all the information I can give you at this time. Mr. Taylor would probably have to address that.
That's hard for me to understand, where you only pick up 10,000 extra taxes from 2013 to 2015. Now, I know we've had more buildings and a lot more stuff going on in this county since then. There's something wrong somewhere.
Well, like I say, we have to have authorization through the tax assessor's office before we can add it. So if you want to address that with Mr. Taylor at the tax assessor's office, I'm sure he can address that for you.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes, sir.
I see on here that Duncan Chapel Baptist Church, necessarily do we charge tax to religious?
Churches are exempt through the state of Tennessee, but now they may be a church that owns a different piece of property, and sometimes that plays in that role. And again, some of these questions I can't answer. The tax assessor would be more appropriate to answer some of these questions, but I'll answer them the best way I can.
Mr. Lewis, I know that Duncan's Chapel box of property used to be the Taylor place, I believe, on the other side of the church. That's probably where this come in at, I'd say.
It might very well be.
If I could do that.
Yes, if there's a separate piece of property. Of course, the church itself is not taxed, but if they do own an additional parcel of property, that is taxed. Any more questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, this is the 5th year in a row that we've had many more businesses deleted from the tax roll than we've had added. It seems like our shrinking tax base is going to have to be picked up somewhere. And a lot of these businesses I see that I know for a fact are still in business. From a standpoint of being deleted, does any of this have to do with tax relief in any way?
Not to my knowledge. That doesn't bear anything to do with the tax relief.
This further tells me that we either are a business-friendly community or the economy is worse than in Carter County than we believe. Because this is the biggest difference I've seen in 5 years.
Mr. Meehan?
Mayor, in light of all the questions, and I think Mr. Lewis has appropriate, we need to have the tax assessor before this commission or before a committee of this commission to answer some of these questions. But there's obviously a $45,000 loss in tax revenue. As Mr. Von Cannon says, some of these businesses are still active, so we need answers of why these figures show up the way they do.
Mr. Harrell, could you step down to the assessor's office, see if Mr. Taylor is available? Probably not. If he is, we'll ask him to come in and answer those questions and defer any action on this list until we get word. And if he's not available, then we can address that next meeting, okay?
I can tell you where some of this deletions come from. It's in the assessment. I had an appraisal done on some property because it was assessed probably at double what it was worth. I know this personally, I had appraisals done on it and had the meeting and had it adjusted, the tax adjusted to meet what the property was worth. A lot of the property I shouldn't say that, but I don't know. I know that my property was assessed way too high. So I had an appraisal done on it and the taxes were cut.
Also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, there is an equalization board in the first 2 weeks of June. That the tax assessor's office has a board, I believe, is it the five?
Yes.
It's on the board, and if anybody has any concerns with their taxes, they could meet with the board the first 2 weeks of June. Hopefully, in the future, we can gain some businesses for our tax revenue. And I'd like to congratulate each of the candidates that are on the commission at this time that was brought in earlier. And thank you for your time and your service for this community and for also the ones that put their name in. Thank you also. This is very important for our county, and I want to thank all of you for all the work that you do.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. We'll defer any action until we hear back from Mr. Taylor. Next item, we'll just go round down the list, is the county road list. Mr. Caldwell was here. I think he just stepped out momentarily. Mr. Shannon, is there anything that you would like to add in reference to the road list? This is something that should have been addressed back in January, or at least accepted by commission at that time. Mr. Lewis.
Moderator, I make a motion to accept the road list.
Motion made by Mr. Lewis to accept. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Ward. Any discussion in reference to road list? Yes, Mr. Von Cannon.
I'd like to say for the first time again in 5 years that this is the only road list that I could support. Because Mr. Caldwell did what the law says. He developed a summary which is supposed to have been with the road list the other 4 years never was. Therefore, this road list does have a summary of what was added, nothing deleted, and it is an accurate road list.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would please, we have a motion made by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Ward to accept the road list as submitted. If you would please proceed with the vote. Has the battery strip been taken out of that? It's locked. Okay. Madam Clerk, please reveal the vote. All ayes, motion passes. Mr. Harris.
Our representative will be up from the office in about 5 minutes.
Oh.
Live meeting.
We've already done that, sir. Yeah, we did that. We had a little difficulty driving the car, but we got beyond that, so we're good. Okay?
Just checking it out.
While we're waiting on representative from the assessor's office, we'll go right into the resolutions. We'll start with the debt management policy resolution. Mr. Harden, would you please do the honors?
Okay, this is a resolution to reaffirm the debt management policy of Carter County, Tennessee in compliance with the 3-Star program requirements. Whereas the 3-Star program was developed to meet the needs and challenges of the evolving economic environment in urban and rural communities and to partner with communities to create opportunities for sustained economic growth. Whereas communities seeking certification as a 3-Star community must meet certain criteria, including the adoption of a debt management policy and the periodic review of the same to ensure that local elected officials are aware and knowledgeable of the county's debt management policy. Whereas Tennessee Code Annotated Section 921-151B1 authorizes the State Funding Board to develop model financial transaction policies for local governments and local governmental instrumentalities. And whereas the State Funding Board has adopted a statement on debt management and has directed local governments and governmental entities that borrow money to draft their own debt management policies with certain mandatory provisions. Whereas the Carter County Legislative Body adopted a debt management policy in 2011, which includes the mandatory provisions required by the State Funding Board and is currently on file with the Comptroller of the Treasury's Office. Whereas the current Board of County Commissioners must acknowledge their review of said debt management policy so that the county mayor may send a fiscal strength and efficient government confirmation letter to the appropriate officials to ensure continued compliance with the 3-Star program. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County, Tennessee, meeting in regular session on this the 18th day of May 2015, with a lawful quorum of said board being present, with majority voting in the affirmative as follows. Number 1, the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County, Tennessee hereby acknowledges that the debt management policy of Carter County, Tennessee has been reviewed and an opportunity for discussion was presented in this official meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Number 2, that said debt management policy is in all respects approved and reaffirmed. Number 3, that the county mayor shall forward a fiscal strength and efficient government confirmation letter to the appropriate officials to ensure continued compliance with the 3-Star program. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect from and after the date of its approval of the welfare of the county demand.
With that, the floor is open for a motion.
I make a motion, we accept this resolution.
Mr. Trivett makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Mr. Holgren is the second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would please proceed with the vote. Madam Clerk, reveal the vote. Thank you. All ayes, motion passes. Next item, court-ordered mental health evaluations.
This is a resolution authorizing the county mayor to execute the contract between the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services and Carter County, Tennessee, setting the rate for court-ordered mental health evaluations and treatment services. Whereas Tennessee Code Annotated Section 337301 et sec. Requires counties to bear the cost of outpatient and inpatient mental health evaluations and treatment for defendants charged only with misdemeanors and court-ordered to undergo said evaluations and treatment. Whereas the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Treatment has offered to enter into a contractual agreement with Carter County, which would serve to set the rates charged to the county for said evaluations and treatment. Whereas it is in the best interest of the citizens and taxpayers of Carter County to enter into said contractual agreement with the state, as it will serve to fix the rate for said services and avoid uncertainty and the potential of much higher costs that could be authorized in the absence of a contract. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County, Tennessee, meeting in regular session on this the 18th day of May 2015, with the lawful quorum of said board being present, with majority voting in the affirmative, that the Carter County Mayor is hereby authorized to execute all documents necessary to enter into a legally binding contractual agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Treatment, which will serve to fix the rates charged to the county for court-ordered mental evaluations and treatment of those charged with misdemeanor offenses in the county. Be it further resolved that further authorization of the Board of County Commissioners shall not be required for routine extensions of this contract wherein the terms thereof remain unchanged. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect from and after the date of its approval, welfare of the county demanding, and further that any part of past resolutions in conflict with this resolution are hereby rescinded to the extent that such a conflict exists.
You've heard the resolution. Board's open for a motion. Do I hear a motion? Have a motion made by Mr. Tester, seconded by Ms. Brown. Any discussion? Mr. Lyons.
On page 3. Page 3, it talks about inpatient evaluation and treatment at Regional Mental Health Center.
Yes, sir.
That's $450 per service recipient per day.
Right.
I'm wondering if there's a cap on how many times they see that person for $450.
Sir, I can't tell you. I don't know. Don't have that information. I just know that $450 is a substantially lower rate than what could be. And that's the whole purpose of the contract. And also, this is the same contract that we entered into, back in June of last year. There was a format change of the contract, not only in Carter County, but across the state, and that's the whole purpose that we're executing this agreement.
I just found it to be evident in my career that sometimes we get an evaluation on a person. Some mental health centers will continue to bring them back several times. Continue to evaluation and assessment process.
To extend it out.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Based on the information I've seen come across my desk, I don't recall seeing repeat evaluations on individuals. Mr. Loach, if you have any comment at all in reference to that as far as invoices, I don't recall seeing anywhere there were multiple evaluations for one individual.
I would not feel comfortable saying there weren't any because as many come through, I do not look at the names. I just think maybe it was all good.
But it really wouldn't be multiple evaluations. It would be additional evaluations because they haven't completed their assessment.
Sure, I understand.
They can run that out for several appointments for $450.
And legitimate, very well-made point. I just can't tell you today. I don't have that information. And obviously, Mr. Loach, with the number of invoices that comes through her department and mine, it's hard to recall. But I don't recall anything out of the ordinary. Mr. Meehan.
Mr. Chairman, on the second from the bottom of the resolution about it would not be required for routine extensions if it were found that there were uses such as we're talking about.
Then by all means, the mayor would bring that to your attention. It would be my duty and responsibility to do that. And there's no way that I would go into executing a contract with totally different terms. If it were substantially more money to the taxpayer of this county, then you would be aware of that and you would have an opportunity to discuss that before any contract would be out. Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Madam Clerk, if you would please proceed with the vote. We've locked it in. Mr. Johnson?
Well, we're trying to operate this single button. Got it.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please reveal the vote.
All
All
ayes.
ayes, motion passes. Next item, Ralph and Rhonda Cole Memorial Highway. Mr. Harden.
This is a resolution honoring the life and service of Ralph Cole and requesting that the portion of State Route 91 in the Stony Creek community of Carter County, currently designated as the Rondell Cole Memorial Highway, be redesignated as the Ralph and Rondell Cole Memorial Highway. Whereas William Ralph Cole was a lifetime resident of Carter County, Tennessee, who graduated from Hampton Elementary School and Elizabethton High School. Whereas Mr. Cole was a successful businessman and business owner for many years, was also a man of integrity and faith who sought to serve the common good and improve the lives of others. Whereas Mr. Cole represented the citizens of Carter County in the Tennessee House of Representatives for 6 terms from 1990 to 2002, serving on the Finance, Ways and Means Committee, the Commerce Committee, the House Ethics Committee, and the Veterans Affairs Committee. Whereas Mr. Cole was also a military veteran, having served his country honorably in World War II as a member of the United States Navy. Whereas Mr. Cole lived an exemplary life of service to others, not only within his community, but also to those within this state and country. Whereas Carter County and its residents were among the beneficiaries of Mr. Cole's life of dedication and public service. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County would like to formally recognize and honor the life of Ralph Cole and his service to Carter County by adopting this resolution in his honor and by requesting that the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation officially redesignate the portion of State Route 91 in the Stony Creek community of Carter County, currently known as the Rondell Cole Memorial Highway, as the Ralph and Rondell Cole Memorial Highway. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County, Tennessee, meeting in regular session on this the 18th day of May 2015, with a lawful quorum of said board being present, with majority voting in the affirmative as follows. Number 1, that the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County, Tennessee hereby adopts this resolution honoring the life of Ralph Cole and his service to the citizens of Carter County. Number 2, that the Board of County Commissioners for Carter County, Tennessee hereby respectfully request that State Senator Rusty Crowe and the other elected representatives for Carter County currently serving in the Tennessee General Assembly take the appropriate action at the state level on behalf of Carter County to officially redesignate the portion of State Route 91 in the Stony Creek community of Carter County as the Ralph and Rondell Cole Memorial Highway. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect from and after the date of its approval, the welfare of the county demanding.
With that, I have a motion by Nancy Brown. What's your motion, Ms. Brown, to adopt?
Yes.
Okay. Second by Mr. Ward. Any discussion?
I do, Mr. Mayor. I don't have any problem with this, being named this. I'd also like to see, I don't know how it will go, maybe, is Mr. Caldwell here? What most of the people are wanting up there too is, like the state signs, DOT signs that's put up somewhere around Mittenholler. They want a Stony Creek says Stony Creek Highway, 91, leading all the way into Shady Valley. Maybe we can bring this up, I don't know, Roger knows how to get in touch with somebody on this.
Mr. Campbell, that would be a matter that we have to address at a later date and time.
Okay.
I think we just need to go ahead and address the resolution before us, and then you can bring that back before the Highway Committee. Mr. Jenkins.
I was just wondering how the public hearing went. We've reset that, we've done it again.
Chairman Hill, could you expand upon that, please?
Well, I brought it back to committee because there were an outsized number of phone calls, which most of them turned out to be people that had been misinformed as to the nature of the resolution to begin with. We did have a second public hearing, and no one from the public attended. We had Mr. Campbell and we had a lady that works at the Highway Department. They were the only parties to speak. So we definitely, I feel, gave the citizens ample opportunity to speak on the subject, sir.
And I will have to say, with the amount of coverage in the newspaper,
absolutely,
there's no way that the citizens of this county, Abby, thank you, were not informed. Okay. Any other discussion?
Like I say, Mayor, I don't have any problem with this.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Mr. Hill?
Really quickly, to Mr. Campbell's point, I would be happy to entertain that conversation at any of the next Highway Committee meetings, and we should probably look into that as well, sir.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Miller?
I was over in Boone the other day. We've argued this over, what, 3 or 4 months. They named the other part of them, North Watson and Hill straight white, more power, ain't no big deal. Put this to pass and go on.
Any other comments? With that, Madam Clerk, if you would please proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote now.
All ayes.
All ayes, motion passes. We still don't have a representative from the assessor's office. So if there's no objection, I move that we go into recess, be back at 1 o'clock.
It's like your signature.
1 o'clock straight up at this point, so we're ready to get back in session. Is the representative from the assessor's office here to explain any questions, to respond to questions or explain the list that was provided by the trustee's office? Ms. Sandy, if you would please come forward.
Okay, I think there's some confusion over the list. This is not our entire list of pickups and drops. These are changes that are made after a file's a lot, and we have to make what we call hand changes in the trustee's office. And I think some of like these properties, like Birchfield Tire, we didn't take those completely off the book. We had to make an adjustment. And same way on some of the properties, if individuals bring in surveys or something like that, we make an adjustment.
So would this be some depreciated assets or something, personal property depreciation that would come off?
Yeah, but sometimes they'll come in with an amended schedule,
Right.
and we do make an adjustment on that. They're allowed by law to do that. And some of the businesses did go out, and we took those off. And some of the big adjustments, if you notice, are, there's one of the nursing homes that did get, the state did exempt them. And that amount was between the two, about 18,000 out of that list. And we have no control over when the state tells us to do something, we have to do.
You said this wasn't a full list, can we get the full list?
Well, the list, we do work all year long, pickups and adjustments. That's reflected on the tax books and the tax notices that go out. This is just changes that are made after those notices go out and are filed with law.
Or could we get a total for the year to date?
We do that after the equalization board meetings. We have a tabulated schedule, and after probably about the 1st of July, we should have that ready.
Miss Sandy, what we got here, we ought to take the $10,760.
That is just pickups that were made after the notices went out. That doesn't figure like items that, even like now, for example, we're picking up houses and all now. That will be on the tax books for 2015, but that's not reflected on this. This is pickups that are made after the notices go out.
So would it be more prevalent to say this is like balancing the checkbook at the end of the year? This is a reconciliation of changes that were made during this, and wasn't necessarily taken into.
Yeah, it's changes basically the fact that you have to back up after the file is locked and the notices are printed.
You'll notice on one of those, it's a nursing home, and there's been a big reduction in it. That's a problem that this county's faced with. These corporations come in and build a nursing home, then they go through the state and get tax exempt. And that's killing us. The private owned, my understanding, the private owned nursing homes don't do this. They have to pay taxes. The ones that's on the corporations gets around it, probably because they got a bunch of lobbyists down in Nashville. But if they're not making a profit, why do they keep building? So that's something we need to look at with our state legislators or something to address. It's costing the county all kinds of money.
And any of the changes on here, we have the paperwork to back that. If anybody wants to come down on a particular one and ask us, we have the paperwork to back why we did the change. So we'd be glad, to do that. I can't tell you on a lot of them right here why a change was made right off, but we can down in the office. We have the paperwork.
Any other questions? Any other questions before we ask for a motion to accept the tax rolls, addition and subtractions? Deletions. Motion made by Mr. Ward, second by Mr. Grindstaff. Any other discussion? We are ready to proceed with the vote, Madam Clerk.
It won't work.
Mr. LC, let the record show that he's not back at this point in time, so Madam Clerk, if you would please reveal the vote.
We need to stop
We have
for
to
this.
click on
and
this
then
thing and
stop.
mark your names.
No, it'll take care of it. They'll take care of that up here. Motion passes. Next item, thank you, we appreciate you. At this point in time, we'll go into committee reports. We'll start with the Budget Committee.
In the Budget Committee, we had a list of donations. I think you have a copy of those in your packet. The donations designated for the jail garden and for the animal shelter. The jail garden was $1,000, and animal shelter $1,260. As chair of the committee, I put that in form of a motion.
Have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Mr. Campbell to accept those donations. Any discussion?
I did, Ronnie. I did, as the chair.
Can the chairman make a?
They can make that motion, many times I would prefer that they not, but I can't stop them from doing that. Especially if you're being selected, if you're gonna make a motion, you should make a motion for everything that comes out of your committee, if you're the chair. In my opinion, but nonetheless, we have a motion made by the chairman, second by Mr. Campbell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Madam Clerk, reveal the vote. Motion passes. Next item.
Request from the landfill committee to utilize $8,000 from the solid waste operating transfer for the pouring of 2 concrete pads at the Little Milligan Convenience Center. I'll put that in form of a motion that we use $8,000 for the operating transfer for completion of the convenience center.
Motion made by Chairman Collar, second by Mr. Ward for the $8,000 to go to the landfill. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. All ayes, motion passes. Next item, Chair.
Next item is the budget for the 14-15 for the recreation, 123. is presented to the Parks and Rec Committee. The motion is to approve the budget, and I'll put that form of the motion.
Have a motion to approve the budget for Parks and Rec, 14-15, second by Commissioner Trivett. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. All ayes, motion passes. Next item.
Next item that goes along with the Park and Rec budget is to, we had a lot of discussion on, paying for the Park and Rec Committee. We decided to take the money from the general fund to pay for the committee members' meetings. And the committee, the budget committee did vote to use the money from general fund, so I also put that in form of a motion.
Chairman made to take the funds from general fund. Motion made by the chairman, second by Nancy Brown. Any discussion? Everybody clear with the motion? The money to pay for their meetings will come from general fund. Proceed to take the vote, Madam Clerk. All ayes, motion passes. Well, no, one day, Ms. Scooch, I apologize. Next item.
Motion to approve general fund budget 101, amendment number 11, for a total of $402,732.06 per hour, with 26 items and 0 coming from the fund balance. And I'll put that form of the motion as the chair.
Motion was made to approve the $402,000 total of all those 26 items in that budget amendment number 11 of 101. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Brown. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, at this time, if it would be proper, I'd like to read my testimony.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Because I am an employee of Carter County, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligations to my constituents and the citizens of the body represented.
Any other disclaimers? Mr. Meehan.
Because I'm an employee of Carter County, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my arguments, my vote answer only to my conscience, my obligation to my constituents and the citizens of this body represented.
Any other disclaimers? Mr. Johnson, would you like to just quickly summarize this disclaimer and move on? Does it apply?
This is a requirement?
It is if you're an employee of one of the agencies that would be receiving funds from the amendments.
Qualified, full, or part, regardless? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Disclaimer for employee of Carter County, because I'm an employee of Carter County, I have conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument, my vote answers only to my conscience, my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Mr. Carroll.
In instances like these guys can abstain from voting.
They can, that's their choice. You know, if they feel that there's a conflict that weighs heavily on them, that they feel that they shouldn't vote, then by all means, they can hit the abstain button and confirm. Any other discussion? With that, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote for this $402,732.06. All ayes with the exception of one day, Mr. Trivett. Okay, if you would, please. Next item.
Next item is Solid Waste Fund 116, budget item amendment number 2. It is for $15,000 with 1 item and 0 coming from the fund balance. As the chair, I will put this in form of a motion.
Second. Motion made, second by Commissioner Ward. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. All ayes. Next item, Mr. Chairman.
Next item is the Health Department Fund 117. That is for a total of $100,318.50 with one item, zero coming from fund balance. And I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. All ayes. Next item.
Next item is from the Highway Fund 131, State Aid Program for Asphalt. And that is moving $98,000 with one item, zero coming from fund balance. And I'll put that in form of a motion as I chair.
Motion made, second by Commissioner Lewis. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote.
Mayor, I'm glad you employed the Carter County Highway Department. I have no conflict with this vote on that.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Ms. Cullen,
Oh, I'm sorry.
reveal the vote. All ayes. Next item, please.
Next item is the General Purpose School Fund 141. Amendment number 11, there's 5 items. They total $96,249.65. Zero coming from the general fund balance. And I'll put that in form of a motion.
Motion made, second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. All ayes. Next item.
Next item is also the General Purpose School Fund, item number 1. And it is a total of $52,245 and zero coming from fund balance. As chair, I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second by Ms. Dietz. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. All ayes. Next item.
Next item is Carter County School Federal Projects Fund 142. There are 4 items, a total of $63,728. Again, zero coming from fund balance. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Motion made, second by Commissioner Brown. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. All ayes. Next item.
I think the next item has to do with the moving, the amendment for the $20,000 for the roll call voting system. My understanding is that was passed in the February meeting, but the purchase failed. And then in the March meeting, the purchase passed, but the amendment was not checked on again. So that is the amendment to move $20,000 from the mayor's building and grounds fund, if I'm correct?
Yes, those 3 items, 415 electricity, $10,000, 452 utilities, $5,000, 454 water and sewer, $5,000. Initially, what was approved in budget was to move those to the communication line item within the mayor's budget. Ms. Deloach looked at that and she felt it was more proper for that to be moved over to the commission budget, 51,107.08 for $20,000. So she's asked for that amendment to be approved. For a motion? Motion by Ms. Brown.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Trivett. Any discussion? Any discussion? Mr. Attorney, would you please weigh in on this as far as the purchase, the roll call, and the motion that was made back in March by Mr. Lewis to purchase and put in use, and what's your opinion on the status of the equipment at this time?
Well, basically, it seems to be a paperwork issue. There was a motion that was approved, the resolution was approved, and I guess a technicality in the process, the correct budget amendment wasn't approved. So at this point, it would just be bringing in line the actual process with what the commission voted to do.
And as far as the equipment, we have it in-house, we're using it. There, you've seen the receipt where we've taken it in-house, and basically, it even states that we're just waiting for the final approval of the budget to clean that up, issue payment on today's date. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I please weigh in on what you're talking
Sure.
about? The reason why the amendment is here today is because we never approved the amendment as a full commission. The reason I brought it back is because Mr. Lewis's motion was never to do anything with the amendment, it was to purchase the system. We have not purchased the system because we do not have a purchase order that I will not release until we have the amendment approved. So we are on a trial basis with the program that you have now, and once the amendment is approved, we will have a purchase order and purchase the system, but at this point, we have not purchased the system.
Any other questions? Ms. Deeds?
How much does this system will cost us each year?
This system's going to cost about $1,600 roughly each year to maintain. Okay. Mr. Grindstein?
What was we decided, I know whenever we were discussing this, that we were going to purchase the roll call pro system, we also have a laptop in its price. I know that some further discussion has taken place with the courts, as well as the use, I know it's the credit that we've been bringing everything out on. Where did that further discussion lead to? Are we going to be able to mount a projector before use after the screen? Or are we looking at that?
We are, absolutely. If you recall, I submitted a letter of request out to the AOC for additional funding for that projector. And I guess today's activities here in the meeting further reinforce the need for that type of equipment with what we saw from Everbridge there earlier. We need that capability, and you can see how this would really help here in the budget process for the citizens in the audience. As far as the laptop today, that's Miss Susan's laptop that we're using. This is a printer that we pulled out as part of the network in the judges' chambers. Once this amendment's approved, that laptop, which is part of the information I provided you last month, will be purchased out of the $20,000. As far as the overhead projector, the wall screen, which we're needing for courtroom updates, and a more elaborate copier printer, that will come below, and we're waiting on the AOC. If the AOC comes back and can give some funding, that would be great. If they cannot produce any funding, then we would look at courtroom updates utilizing litigation funds that we currently have. And there is a good number of people that I've spoken with, judges, that feel that this is needed to upgrade our courtroom and bring it in line with what some of the neighboring counties have.
So as of yet, we haven't heard back from the AOC?
We have not at this time. Mr.
On the agreement that we have with the roll call pro system, have we already signed paperwork? Are we obligated? What's our status with that? I wouldn't want us to, effectively, I talked to Attorney Hardin about it, if there was any legality to opening ourselves up for it if we didn't pay for the system after having signed the paperwork.
I'll let Mr. Hardin weigh in on that as to what he feels based on the actions been taken to date as to whether or not we own it.
Well, I personally haven't saw or reviewed any contracts, so I really don't know the status of a written agreement. But if in fact there is one, obviously, if we have executed that and bound ourselves contractually with this company, if we do not follow through on the purchase, we could be in breach of that contract. So certainly that could lead to some litigation. If that's the case, I'm just not aware if that's the case or not.
Mr. Ward.
Do we or do we not have a contract?
We have a agreement to preview with the understanding that on this date, we would authorize this budget amendment, bring it in line. Keep in mind, Budget Committee did approve the amendment to move this monies within the mayor's budget. The only purpose of this amendment today is to take the monies from the 3 line items in the mayor's budget and move it over to commission. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think this is a courtroom within the courthouse. It's within the mayor's scope of operation and maintenance and upkeep. And as far as I'm concerned, it would be fine there. Director Deloach feels that this is a commission tool, and therefore to properly account for the funding, to make certain there's not a question at time of audit, that these monies would be moved over to the commission budget, and that's communication equipment. She's setting up a new line item. I don't even think there is a new line item there now. So she would be creating a new line item to take care of that.
The second part of my question was, I want to go on record to state that I still feel like we should look at other alternatives because we only looked at this one particular system, and we should have looked at more than one before we made this decision.
Points well taken, Commissioner Ward. Keep in mind, we did go through the process. We put it out for bids. We had neighbors in Piney Flats, another location, that provided a system that turned out to be twice plus the cost and a whole lot more complicated
But
system.
none of them was brought into our courtroom and let us try.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Meehan.
Could I ask what the vote was in the budget committee on this proposal? The number?
I believe it was 5-3.
That's exactly correct, 5-3. But the commission last month, let me remind you, voted to purchase and put in use. That's the exact, if you'll look at your minutes, if you'll refer to the minutes, it says we will make the purchase and put in use, and that's what we've done per your direction.
Question on the motion. We still got, are we still, I'm trying to figure out, are we still in a contract with this? Have we signed any paper?
We have a preview.
If we did, we didn't need legal.
There it is. We have a preview agreement. And in that preview agreement, it goes ahead and makes the price of the system is $16,000 plus shipping and handling. And with the understanding that the payment would be authorized at this meeting of the commission, so that we can go ahead and authorize the actual payment and go ahead and proceed with the purchase of the laptop and the printer copier as part of the system.
You're saying Ms. Deloach is not going to do this until she gets a PO for.
She can.
From the commission.
She cannot, otherwise.
This is going to be used in the court system. It's going to just be used by the commission.
The roll call pro section of it will be used only by the commission, not only here, but in your subcommittee meetings. We've been through one brief training session this week with County Clerk and Ms. Googe and Ms. Lewis. The plan is to have yet other training sessions with the chairman of all the subcommittees, so that you can incorporate, if you so desire, this with your subcommittee meetings as well. As far as the printer copier that will be used, that will be used also by court personnel. As far as the laptop, that can be used by court personnel as well. Mr. Lyons.
Thank you. I'm not so sure that we're really fighting against the process. I think most of these discussions are, we still don't want it. That's pretty obvious from the get-go. We still don't want it. And we're trying to figure out a way to stop it as we speak today. We voted some time back as a commission to do this. And then Ms. Deloach is just trying to clean up her records in terms of purchase requisition. But we're still hearing the questions today, do we want it? We've already voted on it.
You're absolutely correct, Mr. Lyons. I don't know why we would want to be doing that, but that's part of the process. Mr. Peters.
You mentioned that we would incorporate this into our committee meetings. Does that mean that in our committee meetings, we're going to have to pay somebody to come and run the system during our committee meetings?
No, sir. I think that the chairpersons of each committee, once they go through the training system, which is part of the purchase price, and they become proficient with this, then I don't see any reason why they can't. It's a very simple system, Mr. Peters. It's the simplest one on the market. So, you know, that will be up to the chairperson of each committee as to whether or not they want to use it. They may want to continue on. But just look at the amount of business that we've taken care of here in 30 minutes by incorporating this system, how much more streamlined, much more efficient, and expeditious the process is.
Mr. Chairman, I understood if the chairman of these committees don't want to use it, they don't have to.
Do not have to.
Okay.
Mr. Meehan.
Mr. Chairman, what are the implications if this does not pass, this budget amendment?
My opinion is, Mr. Meehan, as mayor, I made a commitment to these people to make a purchase based on your vote last month. As far as I'm concerned, we own it. We do have to take the proper steps to clarify the budget process so that we're not opened up for a problem with audit. And I respect Mr. Loach in that respect, and we need to do everything we can to make certain that this budget amendment is passed. So as far as I'm concerned, sir, based on what you authorized me to do last month, you approved the purchase, not only the purchase, but to put it in use. And that's what we've done today.
Can I get Mr. Loach's opinion? What happened to this?
As I said just moments ago, if the amendment is not approved, the purchase order will not be issued. There will not be a check back to the roll call program.
Okay. Any other discussion? Ms. Brown?
Mr. Harden, what do you suggest? You know where we stand on this, you give us your opinion, you're getting paid for it.
Well, all I can say is that the full commission voted and approved, in my opinion, to purchase the equipment. I mean, that's what happened. So I have to defer to Mr. Loach as far as the financial end of it and the purchase order end of it, because that's just something I'm not that knowledgeable about. But I do know that the full commission voted to purchase the equipment. That's what happened.
But we did not have a full commission. We had 22 people.
Right. Mr. Chairman, I think we need to go ahead and vote on this.
That being said, Madam Clerk, if you would, you know what the motion is, to approve the amendment, to make certain that the monies are transferred from the proper line item within the mayor's budget, the 3 line items, over to line item 708 in the commission budget. Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote, please. Mr. Meehan.
It's not registered.
Is it still on? Mary, did you lock the vote?
No, I didn't do anything.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Is it done?
Reveal the vote, please. 15 yeses, 8 noes, motion passed. Any other item, Madam Chair?
No, that's all I have.
Okay. Buildings and grounds.
I have no report at this time. Mayor, with the exception of, we'll continue to work on the old 911 building. And that's in the minutes, I think, so I'll have to do that.
Thank you, sir. Anything with financial management?
No, sir.
And with that, one of the budget amendments you just passed did free up some additional monies in the mayor's budget so that we can work expeditiously between now and June 30 to get as much as that done over at the 911 building as possible. So last week we weren't able to do a whole lot there, but now with the money's freed up, we can go ahead and get started and work on that very diligently. Education Committee, Mr. Von Cannon.
Other than what you see in your packet, there's nothing revealing here that's we talked about in April the subject of bullying, and we found that out of the last 6 mass shootings in schools, 5 of those people have been bullied as youngsters. So don't be bullying your youngsters because he might shoot you. And we talked about in May, Dr. Ward gave a good presentation on teacher training. Commissioner Ward expressed concerns over the condition of schools and especially the modular units. He and Commissioner Hill were on the committee, and that went to every school, roughly every school, and viewed the condition of the schools. The schools themselves, I think, are fairly good shape. What I've seen, the roofs are good. They've put new roof on most of the schools. It's the modular units that's the problem. Would you agree with it, Jim?
100%.
Modular units, 50 years old or over, some of them, and they've outlived their livelihood.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Von Cannon. Health and Welfare.
We have nothing for it this time.
Thank you, Commissioner Holden. Highway Committee, Mr. Hill.
The minutes pretty much reflect everything we take care of. There was a defect in the Town Creek Estates, Town View, Estates. We were not able to adopt that road as we did bring up, I guess, 2 meetings ago because of the defect in the conveyance process and the survey that came out subsequent to moving to adopt the road in 2016. Other than that, everything's in the minutes, and well, that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Landfill Committee. Steve?
Thank you for your vote to help Director Lyons complete the Little Melvin Center, which opened last Wednesday, the 13th. And this past week has been a good week for the landfill center. Students from Little Melvin School came to the opening, and they brought recyclables, and they were able to put them in the bins and had a day old time. And we had visitors from the state at the center. And the recycling center has been a goal of Director Lyons for 5 years. So it's finally been open, and we're pleased that it has. It'll be open on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And if there's a need, we'll have another day. There'll be another day open, that it'll be open. The citizens have begun to use the center. On Wednesday afternoon, after the center opened, they brought in $11. And then on Saturday, we had $58. That's where they pay $1 a bag to bring in their trash. And that's a pretty good day since they just started up there. Because the citizens have waited so long for this center to open, at the request of Director Lyons, the Landfill Committee would like to present a motion to have a free day for the Little Melvin citizens with no more than 10 bags per vehicle. And since there will be no income on that day, we're asking the full commission to vote on this. So I put that in the form of a motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion made by Chairman Deeds, second by Mr. Lyons. Any discussion as to allowing a free day at the Little Milligan Convenience Center?
This would be Carter County residents only.
It'll just be let them.
Actually, I would prefer it to be the folks that live in that community that uses that, that used to use it when it was there. Don't have the ability to use it now, so, I think Dr. Miller's gonna have to put some flyers out at around the different stores those folks use, and, we'd like to be to that community.
But it's not a reach in North Carolina or anything like that.
No, sir. They would have to live in Carter County as far as,
Yes, Commissioner Hill.
Just, if you would, for the commission, reinstate or restate your theory on how this, you can afford to do this. Just tell them what you told us at the meeting the other night, if you could, sir.
We have not had to pay an operator for our location since September. So we've got a little bit of money aside for the other meals. Community up there for that concern. So what I'd like to do is take what we've not paid an operator to be up there to be able to fund this meeting for one day, and that's gonna be on Saturday.
Mr. Campbell.
Just address Benny, that doesn't include tires or anything.
Does not include tires, it's gonna be bag trash only.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Brown.
What about the other residents in this county? They deserve to get a 3-day downtown too.
As far as speaking on that is, those folks have a place in the district or on mountains, if they try to do not shut them down. It's a convenience center, so they use it as convenience, and it's been convenient for those folks up there. The Elk Mills folks, it's not been convenient for them, they're having to drive 25, 30 miles, around, one lane to get to the lane. So that's, I think that's the least thing. It's helping those folks out, it's showing that we are still thinking about it.
I think as high as trash is, we are
Trash ain't high, I promise.
every day. Have you seen the people that is stacking trash in their vehicles? I mean, truckloads.
Ms.
It's
Brown,
coming
that's not
out.
just in this county, that's Greene County, Washington County, but trash is cheap here compared to when you get on down in the lower part of the state. You're talking $90 a ton down there.
Mr. Hill.
Would it be available for other residents in the county? I mean, just as a, okay.
You'll get into a mess if you do it.
This is primarily, I think, if I'm understanding you correctly, just for the residents in and around the Elk Mills Convenience Center.
Fish Springs area, Butler area, that
As a-
area that actually uses it.
A move of good faith to just let them know, the appreciation and their patience for all the amount of days, and months, and weeks it has taken to get that center up and going.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion?
Question?
Chairman, would you want to repeat your motion?
The motion is to have a free day for the Little Milligan citizens with no more than 10 bags per vehicle.
Hear the motion.
The motion was to allow one free day for the citizens, the residents in and around the Little Milligan Convenience Center with a maximum of 10 bags per household or vehicle.
Okay?
Do we need to go ahead and put a date on this?
That would be this coming Saturday.
Okay. If approved, Mr. Lyons assures us it'll be Saturday, this coming Saturday. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Reveal the vote, please. Motion passes 21 ayes. Next item.
Also, this past Saturday, the 16th, the state-sponsored Household Hazard Materials Day was a great success. 142 vehicles brought materials. And this is the largest number that's ever been serviced in Carter County. And it continued until 2 p.m., the service did. And while this was taking place, Director Lyons gave the landfill committee a tour of the recycling center and the landfill area. So that was a great success. Director Lyons has a flyer, and I've given that flyer, passed this out, if you'll find that in your list there. He's used this for a few years, correct? Several years. And the flyer gives information about rental containers. And it's been brought to the attention of the landfill committee that on our county website, the numbers are different from what they are on this form. Therefore, we're going through this process. The committee would like to make a motion to accept the rental fees listed on the flyer, and has been using these for years, and to give Benny the authority to adjust the cost for mileage if the location renting the container is more than 15 miles from the landfill. So this would take care of fuel.
Motion made with Chairman Deeds, second by Mr. Hill. Does everyone have a handout that she's referring so that you'll know what those rates are? Okay. Mr. Von Camp.
I think that we need a correction on the recycling page.
We're not talking about that right now.
There is such thing as fluorescent bulbs, but they're fluorescent tubes that we cannot accept. That's
Okay.
a good point.
That point's well taken. Any other discussion in reference to the motion? Mr. Holden.
The rental fee, is that a per month, per year, what is that? That's a 2-week period, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I want to make that clear. Yes, sir.
This is what he's been using. We just kind of wanted to get the commission to vote on it, so it's out there now, and everyone will know what it is.
Commissioner Miller.
Ben, we've talked about this before. 520 people roam out, head to Stony Creek, take a dumpster up there, and charge them more. Make a certain price for these people in town, same as it is up yonder. Don't punish the people, because some people pay taxes, same as people up in town. Don't charge so much of all citizens of Carter County. Now, if they're out of Carter County, fine. I think the people in Rome Mountain should pay the same as the people across the street over here. That's the only fire for the taxpayers of Carter County. And then they've been talking about this before about that. Let's not punish people because they live away from the landfill, 15 miles. Let's do the right thing in the right way.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments?
Mr. Miller, if someone in Pinecrest rents one of these, they're going to have to pay for mileage because there's more than 15 miles.
I'm talking about
So that's just
outside
fair.
of 15. We all pay taxes. We do the right thing.
Mr. Lyons, if you could interject, please, and we'll hopefully bring us to an end.
It's pretty standard across the industry that we're in, that they charge mileage over a certain distance. Living on that, you go by a local library, I can assure you it's more than it is a food city. If you go to the local convenience store.
Yeah.
But it's still probably more than it is a food city. Because of the general location of where you're at, so if you want to clarify that to watch, you're leaving to put up buildings in your community, I would think.
I think all the points have been made at this point. So with that being said, everyone's clear with the motion to recognize the rates are established here and give the landfill director authority to proceed as he sees fit. Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote. Ayes, motion passes. Any other items?
Just glad to report on the following. The Blue Ridge Trash is bringing their business back to the transfer station. I know that some people were concerned about that. Unicoi County has begun to bring their pre-sorted recyclables to our transfer station for processing, and that's no cost to Carter County. And the city of Elizabethton has asked Carter County Landfill to service a recycling center they're making across from Omnisource. So those are all good things that are happening with the landfill. And one more item. The landfill committee is planning a trip to Roane County and Jefferson County to visit some landfills and recycling centers. And we would like to, we do not have a date at this time, but we'd like to invite everyone that's interested to go with us. So if you are interested, just let us know, and when we get a date, we'll inform you.
Thank you. Ms. Carr?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that you draft a letter on behalf of the commissioners thanking the Tennessee Technology Electrical Department for the additional work they did for the convenience center, and also to Mr. Ryan Kinney who did free plumbing for his time and effort.
Motion really wouldn't be needed this time. I'll be glad to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you. Law enforcement? Mr. Grindstaff? I'm sorry, Mr. McQueen.
It's fine.
It's been a long day.
It's been a new one. We have nothing new to report at this time.
A lot of water's running under the bridge here today. Nominating committee, Mr. Trivett.
How long do I have, 30 minutes?
I think so.
I just have a couple of things. On the work release, Russell Kite resigned, and we want to put Mr. Jerry Profit in that position, and I need a motion for that effect.
And keep in mind, that is the sheriff's appointment, so the sheriff is.
We just have to go through the motion report.
Okay.
Mr. Ward make the motion, do I hear a second? I had 4 seconds.
Mr. Grindstaff, I think his hand went up very quickly.
Mr. Grindstaff made the second.
Okay, any discussion? Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote.
Vote for me back there, Brad.
Reveal the vote. Well, one more confirming, Mr. Ward. Okay. You're good with that, Mr. Trivett. Mr. Johnson helped you out, so next item.
I have one more. The Carter County Board of Health, Dr. Gastineau retired. So we got Dr. Robert Schubert has agreed to take that position. So I need a motion to that effect that we put him in that position. Do I hear a motion?
Motion by Mr. Grindstaff.
Mr. Lewis seconded.
Okay. Any discussion in reference to Dr. Schubert replacing Dr. Gastineau? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote.
You got a vote, Brad.
How far do these things go
Everything's good. He thought that his first vote was adequate for votes. Okay? Mr. Chairman.
Let me ask you one more thing while I'm here. The 2 commissioners that was elected today, so since I'm on the nominating committee, let's go ahead and put those 2 in the positions that was open in those committees, if that was all right. Mr. Johnson would go on to law enforcement, building grounds, rules and bylaws, and health and welfare. Mr. Acuff here would go on highway, nomination, landfill, and education. And if that's all right, if somebody would make that form of a motion. Mr. Hill made the motion. Mr. Ward seconded. So
Any discussion as far as the backfill of these two commissioners to the committees where Mr. Prophet and Mr. Pugh, automatic backfill? No discussion. The motion, Mr. Meehan, was to have Mr. Rakoff replace Mr. Prophet on those committees that were established early on back in September. Mr. Johnson would be taking Mr. Pugh's place on those committees. It would be an automatic backfill on each of the respective committees and would serve there until whatever action the commission takes in September.
My only question was, is this their area of interest? If we could get any input from them, or are we just doing it without asking them their areas of interest that they would like to do?
Well, I think it would be appropriate to just ask them, Mr. Rakoff, the committees that were outlined just a few minutes ago, the landfill, highway, and education, do you feel that that would be appropriate for you based on your background for credentials?
And I've done talked to Mr. Johnson, that was satisfactory with him.
Okay.
He was a vote in my district, and he was one of them were nice guys, but I got the minority of it.
Are you good with that? Okay. And more importantly, gentlemen, the question is, with the current rules that are in place, Mr. Meehan, which you're well aware of, 2002-3, what about Mr. Peters and Mr. Campbell? Are you okay with Mr. Rakoff going to those committees that we just reviewed?
Absolutely.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Von Cannon, are you satisfied with Mr. Johnson going to those committees?
Of course.
And Mr. Trivett?
Absolutely.
Okay, with that, we've got the motion. Should be no further discussion. Madam Clerk, proceed with the vote.
Reveal the vote, please.
All ayes. Anything else, Mr. Trivett?
There's two openings on the beer board. And I don't know if the two that got elected would like to have those positions or not.
I think it would be more appropriate if we'd wait to handle that in the next nominating committee.
Okay.
And then that'll give them an opportunity to research the rules and everything and decide whether or not they would want part of that, okay?
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Where's your button? How did you push it in?
Parks and Rec Committee. Parks and Rec Committee, is there anything from Parks and Rec? Okay, nothing at this time, Mr. Jenkins. Rules and bylaws. Is there any other committee that I failed to call this tonight? With that, we'll move right into the county attorney's report. Mr. Hardin.
Before I start my little report, I'll say I think if we're going to use this system, I know it didn't make any difference in that occasion, but everybody needs to vote on their own module. So if you come up here, just bring it with you. But I think everybody needs to vote on their own device. So in the future, it wouldn't have made a difference on these votes.
Well, I asked him to vote for it.
I know that, but we couldn't do that without the device, so we shouldn't do it. Yes, sir, that'll be good.
Mr. Hardin is absolutely correct. Let's please, we've got systems in place. Let's make certain we follow it to the letter, okay? Thank you.
All right. Generally, off the top, I give a little litigation update if there is. This, because we've had a little time to go by since the last meeting, there is some. Charter Communications versus Carter County Clerk. This was a lawsuit, two separate cases, which have been pending for several years, pretty much against every county clerk in the state. And those, I received notice, those have been dismissed, voluntarily dismissal on those lawsuits. So that's finally over. It wasn't a dismissal with prejudice, so they could always bring it back. Basically what it was Charter Communications wrangling over business cable franchise taxes, which are mandated by law, and they were trying to say the law was wrong pretty much, so they voluntarily dismissed their suit at this point. So we're out of that one. Another lawsuit, Edward Timms versus the Sheriff's Department and most every other county entity. That was a former inmate. That's been dismissed without prejudice as to the county and all employees at this point. Unlikely that would be brought back. Anytime it's without prejudice, it can be brought back. I think the court was especially strong in their language in that order, basically saying that any appeal from their dismissal would be frivolous. So unlikely that would come back. There's always cases of this sort, multiple cases pending at any one time. Obviously, we're not going to go into any specifics of pending litigation in an open meeting. If any commissioner has any interest in any pending litigation, I'd be happy to review any of that with anybody who asks me. Recently, we completed 4 of the 5 active litter violation cases that were pending in General Sessions Court. We obtained judgments to clean up 2 properties, working with Mr. Schutler's office. 2 properties were brought into compliance by the owners without further intervention. 1 case remains open, and that owner is actively working with Mr. Schutler's office to bring that into compliance. We're also able to recoup funds owed to the county, cleanup of 2 properties that were conducted previously, and once those cleanups are conducted, it goes back on the tax roll, and those properties were sold in a tax sale, so we're able to recoup those funds that the county expended out of Mr. Schutler's budget to clean those properties up through the tax sale. And speaking of the tax sale, worked with Ms. Moreland's office to complete the delinquent tax sale on the 15th of April. It was for tax years 2007, but some went back even further, all the way up to 2009. And for the months of March and April, leading up to the sale and the actual sale, we were able to bring in close to $360,000, about $360,000 in delinquent taxes, penalty, and interest that was owed to the county. So through the tax sale, we were able to collect all that, and certainly like to commend Ms. Moreland and her staff helping in that sale. We actually, just a daunting task there, we actually had to bring in folks from other counties to assist in that workload there to have that sale, and we're able, like I said, to make a big recovery of money that was owed to the county. Some other work, I conducted the excess property sale on April 10th with the assistance of Ms. Deloach and Ms. Bird from the Finance Department. There was 5 total parcels there. Brought in around $4,400 for the county, plus those properties are now back on the tax rolls. They're not just sitting dormant. We're actually going to be collecting taxes on those now. Did the Robert's Rules of Order workshop back on April 20th. Many of you were there. For those of you who couldn't come, I've still got the materials from that workshop. Happy to get them to anybody who has an interest in it. Obviously attended various committee meetings since our last commission meeting, answer questions and present information when I'm requested to, research and issued opinions for various commissioners and office holders, as I do every month and will do for any of you who have a request. Continuing to work with the Industrial Development Board on some pilot extension issues, and actually drafting we're trying to incorporate an application process for the pilot agreements. That's in the works. Reviewed multiple contracts this month and last for different departments, and obviously prepared the resolutions that you all voted on today. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Harden. Any questions for Mr. Harden before we move on? Commissioner comments? Commissioner comments? Any comments? Mr. Hill.
Yes, sir. I've got a couple. First of all, I'd like to welcome you guys on board. We're just putting into the new seats there. I'd like to bring to everybody's attention that the new Carter County Farmers Market is going to be stepping off the blocks this Saturday at 10 in the morning for customers and 9 in the morning for visitors. We did have 6 people sign up in advance. 3 were crafters, 3 were farm products vendors. We expect several more. I'd like to thank Mr. Schutler and the entire planning commission for identifying what I believe is an ideal spot for this thing. Mr. Anderson, Eric Anderson at the Athletic Corporation for taking this thing on like a true general and making it happen. And Ms. Lauren Kirbyfield and the Cleveland FFA Scholars for agreeing to manage it. This is going to be their FFA Scholar Service Project. They're all required to get 300 service hours in, a supervised agricultural activity, and this is going to be it. And after last meeting, when I spoke briefly about the adverse effects of the TWRA fishing license price increases on the small businesses in my district, Commissioner McLean asked me if I wouldn't draft a letter and maybe rig it up where everybody that wished could sign on. So I have done so, and I'll hang around after the meeting for a little bit if anybody wants to do that. I've also got copies that you guys can take with if you wanted to write your own, and it's got talking points there. The new development in this issue for me, I happened to be at the courthouse about a week ago when a completely disabled veteran from South Carolina came in to purchase a fishing license, and Miss Patsy and the gentleman that was in line behind this fellow felt like it was kind of a travesty that he was charged $81 when in state we don't charge a lot for disabled folk. Miss Patsy says $0. So I put a little blurb about that in there too. I have called my district state representative, Mr. Hill, and he's going to revisit that with the TWRA and see if there's anything that can be done. I've got these here if anybody wants them after the meeting, and that's all I've got for you folks.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Anyone else? Any other commissioners? Ms. Brown?
After the last commission meeting, the education committee went to the schools and went to Logan. Well, somehow it got on the internet about how nice the art school was at Cloud. Well, I got all kinds of phone calls of people that were very displeased. We take pride in our school and we're very proud of it, and we don't want to be slung through the mud. I just hope that wouldn't happen again.
Any other? Mr. Hill?
Well, it was me, I made a statement that the only thing that we really saw wrong with Cleveland High School was cosmetic, and it was a litter problem. Not that the school was nasty, but there was a good bit of litter. The problem has been corrected, and I've gotten several calls as well. I stand by the remark.
Mr. Lewis?
I have to say that I was on that committee, and on the outside that town school, it was nice, right? But it's in it ain't committee's fault that it was nice.
Well, we appreciate your participation, Mr. Lewis, and all the members of the commission that serve on that committee. Mr. Von Cannon?
In answer to Mr. Hill's query about fishing licenses, hunting licenses, today's paper, state lawmakers failed to block fee increase. 20% more for licenses starting July 1. Of the 18 float boat people that float the Wahog River from the Clevens road access, this may be bad news. Maybe bad news for our county. I did fill out an inquiry and sent it in on the internet opposing fee increases, and also wrote a letter, which I did not receive a response against a fee increase. So the TWRA, for what it's worth, are on my list, which isn't working.
Mr. Ward?
Speaking for the TWRA, we all come to realize that organization is not funded by the state or the federal. The state gives, only money they get is for license and fees. So, you know, they gotta have their money too.
I want to bring up that the subject is kind of a hot topic right now with back behind us at the covered bridge and the ordinance. I think they're having problems with noise with the citizens having. I was approached, it's been maybe a month ago or so on it. It was separate from loudspeakers or anything like that. It's actually a barking dog. And we spoke about this before. I spoke to Chairman Holgren with Health and Welfare. And I feel that we do need some kind of ordinance in the county that would cover any kind of noise, or whether it's barking dogs, fireworks, or something like that that would just really cover us from a legal standpoint or, any kind of, problems that may cause the county. And that, my question really was, we spoke about it, couldn't really come up with anything, but which committee that may need to be brought, in front of or addressed?
Normally, health and welfare, I would think. I would ask that that committee take a look at this, look at the statutes on the book. I think there is a noise statute on the books, but enforcement's the question. As far as a local ordinance, we do not have one to my knowledge. Is that correct at this time?
I don't believe so, and just the technicality, the city would pass an ordinance, as a commission, as a county, we would have to pass a resolution, just like our litter resolution that we enforce. Yeah, there could be one, but there could be some issues with enforcement, and that's something I'd have to research a little bit, as far as our ability to fine and things like that. Probably more likely have to be something done through the sheriff's office than, because we just don't have citation authority for our individual.
Yeah, I figured it'd be a long process, but I just wanted, just to bring it up, just to kind of cover us.
Mr. Harden, is that something you could take on, just to do some research and maybe get back at the next meeting of Health and Welfare Committee to advise them as to what their options are?
Sure, I'd be happy.
Is that okay, Mr. Grant?
Yes, that'd be great.
Any other items? It's been a long day. It's been a productive day. Congratulations, Mr. Acock, Mr. Johnson. Welcome aboard. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Mr. Meehan, second by Mr. Jenkins. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No.